Chapter 1958. The moment the door was pushed open, Kai Shui was dumbfounded. She did not think that there would be such a coincidence. It was too late to reopen the tunnel now. Everything had been filled up. Tianyan wanted to hide, but there was no place to hide. This place was too spacious. There was basically no place to hide. As for any invisibility techniques, they were useless. The weakest cultivation here was probably at the Star Apostle level. There was no way to use it. Following that, a beautiful woman pushed open the door and entered. When she saw Tianyan and Kai Shui, she was stunned. She did not think that there would be an unfamiliar man in this room. The key was that this unfamiliar man was not from the five-colored divine race. At this moment, Tianyan's body moved. He immediately arrived in front of the woman. He extended his hand and quickly tapped on her body a few times, sealing her power. At the same time, he dragged her in and quickly closed the door. Everything happened in an instant. This kind of technique scared Kai Shui. She did not think that Tianyan would be so fast. Don't hurt my sister. Kai Shui rushed forward. She was worried that Tianyan would hurt her sister. Obviously, in the face of kinship, she was more concerned about her family. This was human nature. Kai Shui bringing Tianyan back was already against the rules. Cough cough, I did not hurt her. I was just afraid that she would cause some chaos. If it was discovered, you would be punished. Tianyan coughed lightly and said, I only sealed her power. You two can have a good chat later. I really did not mean to hurt you. I just wanted to leave this place. The girl who was caught opened her mouth wide. She looked at Tianyan in a daze. She was also shocked by the scene in front of her. Her cultivation was not high. But no matter what, she had the cultivation of a Star Master late stage. She was easily sealed. The opponent had at least the cultivation of a Star Master. An expert with this level of cultivation had actually sneaked in and entered her sister's room. She wanted to speak, but she couldn't utter a single word. Her entire body was sealed, so she naturally couldn't speak. Shortly after, Tianyan looked at her and warned, Later, I'll decipher your voice. Don't shout or scream, it's meaningless. As for the details, you can ask your sister. She will give you a reasonable answer. Once again, I have no intention of harming you, nor do I have any intention of capturing anyone. I'm just passing by. Following that, Tianyan extended his hand and tapped on the girl's voice, releasing it from the seal. After the girl's vocal cords were unsealed, she didn't scream. Instead, she asked coldly, Who are you? Who I am isn't important. What's important is your sister's explanation. Tianyan was very satisfied with this girl's attitude. As long as she didn't shout and attract the attention of the surrounding people, it wouldn't be a problem. He didn't want to be beaten up. He wasn't afraid of being besieged. However, seeing that it wasn't easy for the five-colored god race to cultivate, he didn't want to do anything to harm them. Shortly after, Kai Shui began to explain to her sister. In general, she said that she witnessed the battle and saw Tianyan kill the Green Devil Saint King. She wanted to help. Kill the Green Devil Saint King. Kai Shui's sister was called Kai Yun. Kai Yun and Kai Shui were a pair of blood-related sisters. This meant that Tianyan had basically helped her take revenge. I understand more or less. It's normal for my sister to help you. Kai Yun nodded. Her gaze didn't soften, but it was still so sharp. It was obvious that she didn't trust Tianyan. Even if he helped to kill an enemy, her attitude wouldn't change much. After all, the human heart was the hardest to guess. After so many times of being hurt, it was impossible to trust them so easily. As for the way out, I'll help you find out. Correspondingly, you have to stay here and don't wander around. I'll arrange for you to go to another room. When the time comes, just don't wander around. If we find the exit, we'll naturally tell you. If we can't find it, you'll have to wait for the next time the door opens. Kai Yun was very calm. Her attitude was also very cold. She wasn't afraid of being killed by Tianyan at all. In her opinion, if they were killed, they would notice very quickly. At that time, they would definitely be surrounded and attacked by their race. They wouldn't be able to escape even if they wanted to, especially since this was their race's territory. No problem. Do whatever you want. When in Rome, Do as the Romans do. Yi Tianyan shrugged. His injuries hadn't healed yet, so it would be hard for him to make a move. Following Yi Tianyun's help to undo all the seals, Kaiyun didn't do anything else. She just brought him out of this room and into another room. The situation outside was that there were rows of houses made of 5 colored godstones. From the outside, it looked very luxurious. Apart from that, there were many large formations set up. The key was that this was a special space. It didn't belong to the world that the Green Devil clan stayed in. This was actually a small world. Generally speaking, it would be safer and wouldn't be disturbed. Seeing this situation, Yi Tianyan couldn't help but look at Kaiyun. In such a situation, could Kaiyun still slip out? Hurry up and come in. Kaiyun saw that Yi Tianyan was still looking outside and quickly dragged him into the house. Don't stay outside. If you're discovered, it'll be terrible, Kaiyun said sternly. I'm just looking a few more times. Do you have to be so strict? Yi Tianyan spread his hands helplessly. It's that strict. If you're discovered, not only will you die, but will also be punished. Kaiyun said in a low voice. It seems that you're really xenophobic. Yi Tianyan smiled faintly. If you've been caught by all the races, I think you'll definitely think the same as us. Kaiyun grabbed her sister and said, You stay here and wait for our news. If you run away, we can't help you. Yi Tianyan said to Kaiyun. Kaiyun said, You stay here and wait for our news. Then she left with her younger sister. Before Kaiyun left, she cast a glance at Yi Tianyan. There was pity in her pretty eyes. The two of them left quickly, leaving Yi Tianyan alone in the room. Yi Tianyan didn't run around. Instead, he sat down to rest and recover from his injuries. His injuries hadn't recovered yet. He had to take advantage of this opportunity to recover quickly. Let's recover quickly. As long as it isn't a star venerable, no one can stop me. Yi Tianyan closed his eyes to continue recovering from his injuries. Chapter 1959. Yi Tianyan was not familiar with them, but judging from their attitude, they would not tell on him. Even though Kaiyun was a more upright person, she could only help him keep it a secret. The reason was simple. He could come here because of her sister Kaishui. That was why he could do this. If she told on him, Kaishui would be punished. This was the rule here. If she brought someone else here, she would be severely punished. Therefore, Kaiyun would not tell on him. Otherwise, her sister would be punished. If she told on him, he would not worry. As long as it was not a star venerable, he would be able to stop them. As for other star lords, as long as they were not extremely powerful, he could suppress them. If they fought with their lives on the line, Yi Tianyan did not mind washing this place with blood. If they came here to kill him, he would be a fool if he just sat there and waited for death. Although he felt sorry for Kaishui, he had no choice but to fight. Of course, if there was no problem, he would not fight. He was not a cruel person. Through this rule, Yi Tianyan guessed that a similar situation must have happened in the past. That was why there was such a rule. The rule was not set randomly. It had happened before, so it was added. It could be seen that this was not the first time this place had been opened. It had been opened a long time ago, but it did not open every time. After all, this time the heaven crystal was flashing, reminding him of the change in the situation. In the past, there would not have been such a change. Yi Tianyan thought for a while, then stopped thinking about it. He immersed himself in recovering from his injuries. Just a little bit more and I will recover completely. By then, even if the Green Demon Holy King comes back to life, there will be nothing to worry about. Unless they all have a lot of star venerable blood. Yi Tianyan closed his eyes and recovered quickly. The power of the 5 elements here was very rich. If he absorbed a little more, he would be able to replenish his consumption. It was many times better than the outside world. This was a small world built by the 5-colored holy race. The energy here was much richer than the outside world. It was not only good for cultivation, but it was also good for recovery. At the same time, over at Kaishui and Kaiyun's side, Kaishui was being taught a lesson by her elder sister. I don't care if you sneak out often, but this time you actually brought someone in. Sister, don't you know the rules here? Kaiyun lowered her voice, but there was a hint of annoyance in her voice. Sister, I know the rules of the tribe, but he helped us kill the green demon Saint King, our enemy. Kai Shui was young, but her temper was very stubborn. She didn't have the slightest hint of repentance. That's true, but that's what they wanted to do. We didn't ask them to do it. You don't have to save them. Kaiyun hugged her younger sister and said with emotion, if he takes you away, what will big sister do? Her eyes reddened, and there was some sadness in them. Kai Shui buried herself in her sister's bosom. She was startled at first, then hugged her sister and said in a low voice, Sister, I'm sorry. It's okay. He doesn't look like a bad person. Let's help him this once. Kaiyun sighed. Things had already happened. There was no point in being angry. Sister, I feel a very familiar and intimate aura from him, so I don't think he's a bad person. Kai Shui added after thinking for a while. Familiar and intimate aura? I don't feel it. Kaiyun frowned. After thinking for a while, she shook her head and said, forget it. Anyway, let's help find the exit now. If we can't find it, he can only wait until the next time it opens. Kai Shui nodded and didn't say anything else. She followed her sister into the study. After the two of them entered, they kept looking through all kinds of records. They wouldn't be so stupid as to directly ask where the exit was. Once they asked, they would definitely be suspected. Therefore, they could only use this kind of stupid method to help Yi Tianyan find the exit. For a moment, the two sisters kept looking through all kinds of records, trying to find some clues. Hey, it's rare to see you two reading here. An old man walked over and said with a smile. Grandpachi. The two of them were shocked. They hurriedly hid the panic in their hearts and looked at Grandpachi with a smile. We want to come in and see what happened in the past. We want to see the history of our five-colored god race. Kaiyun was the older sister. She immediately thought of an excuse. Yes, it's good to know the history of our five-colored god race. Back then, our five-colored god race was the best in this world. Unfortunately, Grandpachi sighed deeply and began to reminisce. Piles of memories began to pour out. They could only listen. It was boring, but they could only listen. However, not long after, Kai Shui's big eyes turned and she suddenly asked with a smile. Grandpachi, speaking of which, have we never planned to go out? Go out? Grandpachi shook his head and said, if we want to go out, it's not impossible. When we completely suppress the green demon race, we can go out. Suppress the green demon race, we know that. But other than that, is there any other way out? Kai Shui asked. There is. Why do you ask this question? Grandpachi looked at Kai Shui with a puzzled look. I'm just asking purely out of curiosity. Kai Shui's small hands clenched tightly. She felt a little nervous. The two of you listen to me. Don't ever think about going out. The outside world is very dangerous, especially for our race. It's even more dangerous. Don't trust other races. All of them are sinister and cunning. Grandpachi's face was serious. There was no trace of the peaceful expression he had before. The two sisters looked at each other. It seemed that they wouldn't be able to get anything out of him. After some idle chatting, they could only shake their heads and sigh. This time, they wouldn't be able to find anything. Soon, the two of them returned to the room and saw Yi Tianyan smiling at them. Is there any news? It seems that there isn't any good news, right? Yi Tianyan felt that his condition had basically recovered. Seeing their dejected faces, he knew that he wouldn't be able to get anything out of them. There is a passageway, but we can't ask or find it. It seems that you can only wait until the next time it opens. Kaiyun's expression was still cold and emotionless. As expected. Then when is the next time it opens? Yi Tianyan asked. He didn't have any hope in the first place. If he could know, he would have known long ago instead of asking. This kind of thing would definitely be classified as a taboo. Kaiyun thought for a moment and said, about 10,000 years. It only opens once every 10,000 years. Chapter 1960. 10,000 years. He thought it would at most be a few hundred years, at most 1,000 years. He didn't expect it to be 10,000 years. After 10,000 years, he didn't know what the situation would be like. Let alone 10,000 years, even if it was a few hundred years, he wouldn't be able to wait. After all, Who knew what the ancestral land of the Jade God would do to those lower realms? Especially when someone in the three realms successfully broke through to the God Emperor stage, this kind of disgusting thing would definitely happen. 10,000 years, I can't wait at all. This is too long. Tianyan shook his head. If the teleportation godstone could be used, he would have left this place easily. He didn't expect that there would be a huge pit here. He thought that there would be some kind of amazing treasure. Now, it seemed that it was a dead end. There's nothing we can do. We can't find any other passage. If you don't want to stay here, I can send you out. The area outside is vast, you can find other passages at will. Kai Yun's attitude was still cold, without the slightest bit of politeness. Big sister, if you send big brother out, wouldn't he be in danger? There are many green demon race outside. If he is surrounded, it will be difficult to escape. Kai Shue hurriedly advised. Didn't you say that he killed the green demon Holy King? Even the green demon Holy King was killed. Why would he be afraid of the other green demon race? Kai Yun didn't believe that Tianyan could kill the green demon race. This time, there were many heaven crystal stones, and they all ran in. It was possible that he was exhausted to death by a group of people, and not killed by Tianyan alone. Their five-colored god race had been fighting the green demon race for so long, but the green demon Holy King was still not killed. It was enough to show how difficult it was to kill. This kind of thing they were naturally happy to see. The death of the green demon Holy King was a good thing for them. The green demon Holy King was killed by Big Brother. I even saw it with my own eyes. But if you go out casually, it will still be very dangerous, and Big Brother is injured. Kai Shue still advised. Her eyes were filled with worry. It seemed that Kai Shue was still very concerned about Tianyan, and was unwilling to send him out. Sister, I don't object to your compassion. But if he wants to find the passage himself, do you think I'll force him to stay? Kai Yun touched her little head, then looked up at Tianyan and said coldly, It's up to you whether you want to stay here or leave to find the passage. All right, then I'll leave this place and search for the passageway. Tianyan didn't continue to stay here. There was no good way for him to stay here. Moreover, he couldn't go out, so he might as well go out and find another passage. No. Kai Shue grabbed Tianyan's big hand and said with tears in her eyes, Big brother, you can't go, it's very dangerous outside. Tianyan reached out and rubbed her little head, smiling. It's all right, I can even kill the green demon Saint King. Why would I be afraid of the other green demon race? Besides, I can't find a way out even if I stay here. Kai Shue shook her head. It was fine to lie to a child, but she wouldn't believe it no matter what. However, she didn't expose him, but stayed at the side and watched. Anyway, as long as Tianyan didn't hurt her sister, it would be fine. Then you should at least wait until your body is fully recovered. Kai Shue saw that she couldn't persuade him to stay, so she could only say so. All right, then I'll wait until my body is fully recovered. In about a month, I'll be fully recovered. Tianyan estimated his own situation. Under the situation where his body was constantly recovering, he still needed a month. The injuries this time were too serious. If it was another cultivator, who knew how many years it would take? His recovery was considered fast. That's great then, big brother, you can stay here and rest. Kai Shue smiled happily. Even if she couldn't help Tianyan leave, at least she could let him stay here until his body was fully recovered. Kai Shue sighed at the side. It seemed that her sister was too kind. She didn't even know when she would be sold. Since my sister said so, then you should wait until your body is fully recovered. After your body is fully recovered, you have to leave this place immediately. Kai Shue's tone was strict, and she still didn't give him a good look. I will. Tianyan didn't pay attention to her. He chose to stay because of Kai Shue. If it wasn't for Kai Shue urging him to stay, he wouldn't want to stay here. His movements were restricted here, so naturally, he didn't want to stay here. After a series of instructions, it was nothing more than that he couldn't walk around casually, and could only stay in this room. If someone came, he should immediately conceal his aura and not act rashly and so on. Tianyan listened to everything. Anyway, he only needed to stay for a month, so he was too lazy to walk around casually. After the instructions, Kai Shue left with Kai Shue, and didn't continue to accompany him here. Time passed day by day. Kai Shui often came to chat with Yi Tianyan, and often asked about the situation outside. Yi Tianyan was willing to chat, and told her about the situation outside, which made Kai Shui exclaim again and again. She didn't expect the outside world to be so colorful. When Kai Shui knew about this situation, she could only shake her head and sigh. Anyway, Yi Tianyan was only staying for a month. She would let her sister chat with him for a month. During this period, Yi Tianyan also learned a lot of things and knew about the situation of the five-colored god race. They stayed here, not because they were trapped, but purely to complete a mission. The mission they received was to suppress the green demon race. The green demon race wasn't a race of this world, but a race from the underground world. They were responsible for guarding the passage that the green demon race used to come up. Even so, there were still many green demon race rushing up, which gave them a headache. The one who gave them this mission seemed to have saved the five-colored god race, which was why the five-colored god race was responsible for suppressing the green demon race. No matter what, they were indeed arch-enemies. The opening of the passage was completely due to the distortion of time and space, causing the formation to malfunction, allowing foreign cultivators to come in at will. Normally, they wouldn't be able to come in. Therefore, the situation that occurred last time was the distortion of the formation, which temporarily weakened it, allowing them to come in with the heavenly crystal stones. As time passed, it was soon going to be a month. Yi Tianyan's injuries had completely recovered, and it was about time to leave. Strange, why haven't I seen Sister Kai Shui come these few days? Yi Tianyan was a little curious. Previously, Kai Shui would often come to find him, but now she hadn't come for a few days. Could it be that she had discovered something? Just as he was thinking about this, a familiar aura came from outside. She pushed open the door and hurriedly said, "Big brother, it's not good. The green demon race is attacking. Quickly run." Chapter 1961. That's right, the green demon race is attacking. Even without the green demon holy king, they will still attack. This time, they gathered so many green demon races, because they want to attack us in one go and destroy our five-colored divine race. At that time, they will escape from this seal and go to the outside world. Kai Shui grabbed him, and prepared to dig a hole to escape. It seemed that she had a fixed place to escape to. However, even if she could escape, her clansmen could not. This was their small world, and their entire base was here. It was impossible for them to abandon this place and escape. Furthermore, where could they escape to? The outside world was only so big. As long as the green demon race continued to find them, they were destined to be surrounded. So they gathered so many green demon races to attack? Yi Tianyan remembered that when he came in, he saw so many starboats. So they were planning to attack. It was just a coincidence that he ran into them. At the same time, when the green demon race saw outsiders, they naturally would not let go of the opportunity to devour them. Now that they had gathered so many green demon races, it was impossible for them to leave just like that. Even without the green demon holy king, they would still attack. This was an opportunity, and an opportunity that only came once in 10,000 years. After spending this period of time with Kai Shui, he had a rough idea of the situation. The opening of the passage every 10,000 years was actually because the seal was unstable and distorted. Not only could cultivators come in, the rest of the green demon race could also run up from the depths of the ground. This was the corresponding situation between the two. This time, it was unknown how many had run up, but from Kai Shui's expression, there would definitely be a lot. It seemed that the group he had destroyed last time was only a portion. There was still a large portion that had not been cleared out, but they had moved to the other side, probably to outflank the five-colored divine race. However, he did not expect the green demon holy king to be killed by him. He did not know what was going on with the green demon race. Yes, they are all surrounded outside. If we don't escape now, it will be too late. Kai Shui grabbed him and drilled into the ground. Yi Tianyan pulled her over and said in a deep voice, "Why don't I stay and help you guys? Maybe I can help you guys get rid of a portion of the green demon race. This way you guys won't reject me." As his savior, this way, the five-colored divine race would definitely not reject his suggestion, which was to let him leave this place. If he really had to wait for 10,000 years, wouldn't he go crazy? No, it's different this time. Even if they don't have the Green Demon Holy King, they will have the Green Demon Battle Saint. The Green Demon Holy King is only one of them. Not only that, there are also many experts. Kai Shui said anxiously. It'll be too late if we don't leave now. They're already deploying a grand formation, wanting to trap us completely. At that time, even if you want to leave, I won't be able to bring you along. The Green Demon race has two such powerful experts? Tianyan was taken aback. He had thought that the Green Demon Holy King was the current emperor of the Green Demon race. However, the Green Demon race had several current emperors. It was no wonder that even after the Green Demon Holy King was killed, they were still able to send people over. They were not without a leader, and still had a large number of experts to lead them. Yes, there are still two omnipotent masters, so you better hurry and escape. Kai Shui continued to lead him into the cave. If that's the case, all the more I shouldn't leave. Tianyan shook his head and said, not only for me to leave, but also for the safety of the outside world. If these Green Demon race were to run outside, I'm afraid it would also cause chaos outside. The Green Demon race was so disgusting. If they were to break the seal and leave, then the forces he brought up would also be in danger. It wasn't that he wanted to protect this world, but he was thinking about his own future situation. The ancestral land of the Jade God was disgusting enough. Now that there was the Green Demon race, wouldn't it be even more disgusting? In addition, now that he had sent charcoal in the snow, he could even get the five-colored god race to acknowledge him. Why wouldn't he do this? But Kai Shui wanted to say something, but she was dragged out by Tianyan. There's no but. Don't you know that I killed the Green Demon Holy King? Not to mention killing two Holy Kings. If I can kill one, then you guys won't feel so much pressure. If I'm injured, please help me heal. Tianyan smiled at her. Kai Shui nodded her head. Now that things had come to this, she could only do this. Her cultivation was not strong, so she could not help much. If Tianyan could help, that would be even better. Ding. Successfully accepted. Resist the Green Demon race's encirclement, and rescue the five-colored god race. Completed the quest and obtain the five-colored god race's favorable impression of you. At the same time, you have obtained a chance to level up the system skills, can be accumulated. The mission that popped up caused Tianyan's eyes to light up. He had just received a lot of missions, why not? Then you go out first. I still need to prepare. Tianyan was not in a hurry to go out. Instead, he wanted to adjust his condition and prepare some things. When the time came, he would kill his way out. Alright, then I'll go out first. Kai Shui nodded her head. Without any hesitation, she turned around and left. After walking out of the room, she had only taken a few steps when she saw Kai Yin rushing over. When she saw her, she sighed and said, no wonder I couldn't see you. You must have gone to send him away, right? I thought he would stay and help us resist the Green Demon clan. It seems that I was thinking too much. Let's go. Even if we die, we must fight to the last moment. Kai Yin grabbed her and walked out. She did not persuade Kai Shui to escape or anything. Sometimes, a mission was more important than anything else. Moreover, they really could not escape from the outside, unless the elders let them use a secret passage or something. Kai Shui opened her mouth and thought for a while, but did not say anything. Immediately, the two of them quickly rushed to the front line. At this time, the ceiling formation outside had already been surrounded by a group of Green Demon clan. Numerous Green Demon clan members were attacking the ceiling formation frantically, wanting to destroy the strong ceiling formation here. Outside the formation, there were waves of fluctuations. For the time being, they could still hold on. However, if they were attacked continuously, they would not be able to hold on for too long. You evil beasts, you have sealed us for so long. Let's see if you can hold on this time. Last time, you managed to block us. Let's see how you block us this time. Outside, a green demon Star Venerate wearing green battle armor said. He was the Green Demon Battle Sage. His cultivation had reached the late stage of Star Venerate, and he was basically as strong as the Green Demon Holy King. In some aspects, he was even stronger than the Green Demon Holy King. Not bad. Last time, we underestimated your ability. Let's see how you block us this time. Another one was the Green Demon Holy Master. He wore a green robe, and a strange energy spread around him. Chapter 1962. The two Green Demon race star venerates were in front. Not only them, but there were also many green demons outside. They had completely surrounded this place. It seemed like there was no place to escape, but in reality, there was an escape route. However, the green demons were not worried that they would escape. The entire formations I was here. If the five-colored divine race escaped, they would be very happy. Even if they sealed this place, they would only seal off a small area. They did not want to let so many five-colored divine race people escape. They could not completely seal it off for now. In this small world, the five-colored divine race's clan leader G, was also a late-stage star venerate. In addition, there was another star venerate beside him. This was an elder. However, the green demon race's star venerate elder's cultivation was relatively low, only a mid-stage star venerate. As for star venerate, there was no one. After all, it was not that easy to break through. Even though there were many five-colored divine stones here, they could not casually break through to star venerate. The difficulty was simply too high. Aside from this, there were also many five-colored divine race people here. However, compared to the green demons, there were much fewer of them. Even Grandmaster Xing was much fewer than the other party. The two could not be compared at all. The main reason was that there were very few five-colored divine race people in the first place. Because of some matters, the five-colored divine race had almost been exterminated. After so many years, they had not recovered. It was impossible for their numbers to be that high. In particular, it was easy for other races to capture them, causing their numbers to be even lower. No one captured the green demons at all. Otherwise, there would not be enough to capture no matter how many there were. Just from appearance, it was clear that the five-colored divine race was more likable. It's not that easy to destroy us, Clan Leader G said coldly. Even if we fight to the last man, we will not admit defeat. Furthermore, it is still uncertain who will win this time. That's right. Don't think that our five-colored divine race will be so easily destroyed by you. Even if we die, we will drag you down with us. Elder Maze also roared, his eyes bloodshot. They were already fighting to the death. This had nothing to do with responsibility. They just wanted revenge. The green demons had killed many of their five-colored divine race people, so it was even more impossible for them to retreat. The other five-colored god race also roared out loudly. Their morale rose explosively, and they were in high spirits. None of them were cowards. Even the two sisters, Kai Shui and Kai Yun, had red eyes and wanted to fight with them. Their parents had died in the last battle. Even though the Green Demon Holy King had been killed, their anger had not been completely extinguished. Unless the entire Green Demon race was destroyed, their anger would not be appeased. Humph! That's quite a morale boost. Do you really think that we're not prepared at all this time? The Green Demon Battle Saint waved his hand, and a few drops of star venerable blood floated in his hand. The Green Demon's sacred master beside him also threw out a few drops of star venerable blood. They really threw caution to the wind and used the star venerable's blood without holding anything back in order to take down the five-colored divine clan. Not only that, but the bodies of the Green Devil tribe members in the surroundings also began to emit green light, vaguely wanting to release their own life force so that they could erupt with their strongest power. You have the Star Venerable's blood. Do you think we don't? Clan Master G and the others also waved their hands, and the blood flickering with five-colored divine light floated in their palms. This was also the Star Venerable's blood, and the power it released seemed to be even stronger than the Green Demon race's blood. However, the difference was that they had too few people using it. They were all at the Star Lord level, and they were weaker than the Green Demon races. Not only that, but the Star Dharma images in their bodies also erupted and floated into the sky. They all had the same five-colored divine statue Star Dharma images, and they were all top-notch level 5 Star Dharma images. As for level 6 Star Dharma images, they did not have them yet. Compared to the Green Demon race, they all had Star Dharma images. On the Green Demon race's side, Only a few Green Demon race members had Star Dharma images. Star Dharma images. It's all because of your seals that we don't have Star Dharma images. Today you will all die. The Battle Sage image behind the Green Demon Battle Saint rose up, holding a giant blade, ready to cut down all living creatures at any time. If it wasn't for your impudence, how could you have fallen to such a state? Clan leader Ji said coldly. We are enforcing justice on behalf of the heavens. We are destined to suppress you to the point where it will be hard for you to turn over a new leaf. I heard that your Green Demon Holy King was killed by foreigners. The heavens really have eyes, the foreigners don't like you. Hearing clan leader Ji's words, their faces darkened. This matter had indeed exceeded their expectations. They never thought that the Green Demon Holy King would die, and the Green Demon God's son would also die. This was undoubtedly a great loss. Haha. Hard for us to turn over a new leaf. Even if the Green Demon Holy King was killed, do you really think we have this little bit of power? The Green Demon Battle Saint smiled and glanced to the side. Old friend, why aren't you coming out? Let me see your former companion. Immediately, a five-colored light appeared beside him. His entire body was emitting five-colored divine light, not green light. It was not the Green Demon race that appeared, but the five-colored divine race. When everyone saw him appear, they all revealed angry gazes. Among them, clan leader Ji said angrily, Traitor! If it wasn't for you, our five-colored divine race wouldn't have suffered such a great loss. Clan leader Ji, what you said is wrong. What's the point of our two families fighting each other? What kind of promise are we keeping? What a bunch of bullshit, a waste of time. Ji Fanyan's expression was calm and disdainful. If our two families joined hands, the outside world would be ours, and we wouldn't be trapped in this broken place. Impudent. That is the responsibility of our benefactor. Without that benefactor, we would have been destroyed long ago. Clan leader Ji shouted angrily. Responsibility? Our responsibility is to be a watchdog? Ji Fanyan said coldly. We've been doing this for so many years, and we don't even know where he is. The Green Demon race is not weak. If this continues, our five-colored divine race will be destroyed sooner or later. If our benefactor really wants to deal with the Green Demon race, he should deal with them together, not leave us here. I've had enough of this kind of life, it's not interesting at all. Look, I've been out for so long, where's that benefactor? I don't even see him, and I don't even know where he died. Keep your promise, promise my ass. The faces of the people from the five-colored divine race turned ugly. What he said was true, but even so, they could not go back on their original promise. While they were cursing non-stop, Tianyan took out the golden divine grass and started to consume it. He did not use the 9-turn star grass, but he used the golden divine grass. He did not plan to keep it. Chapter 1963. Originally, Tianyan had planned to give the golden divine grass to others or himself, regardless of which he planned to use it to refine pills. After all, the effects would increase after refining pills. It was undoubtedly very worth it. However, the situation was different now. He needed to face a group of green demons and several strong existences. Hence, he needed to improve himself. If the golden divine grass was not very effective, he would use the 9 revolution star grass to improve himself. The Green Demon Holy King was simply too strong. Now there were 2 existences on par with him. Naturally, he needed to improve himself. He did not want to use the Star Venerate blood. After all, it was a waste. The main thing was that the Star Venerate blood was much more precious than the golden divine grass. Hence, he planned to use the golden divine grass first. After Xiao Chen consumed the golden divine grass, a golden energy poured into his body and started circulating. At the same time, a faint layer of gold appeared on the 5-colored emperor dragon in his body. It was like it was advancing to a higher level. Soon, the 5-colored emperor dragon in Xiao Chen's body gained a faint layer of light. Its level had really increased. Congratulations on successfully allowing the 5-colored emperor dragon to break through to the star dermic aspect unique to the second layer. Its might has increased 5-fold. The star dermic aspect unique to the second layer? Tianyun's eyes lit up. From this news, He could clearly feel that this star-dermic aspect could really be upgraded. From the records, there were very few related records, almost none at all. From this, it could be seen that the difficulty of upgrading was too high. Hence, there were no records. Or perhaps even if there were, many experts were not willing to say it, lest the information be leaked. It looks like this is information that only star venerates and above can obtain. Tianyan boldly guessed that this information had been circulating for a long time. However, it was not circulated outside but internally. In such a situation, the fewer people that knew, the better. The key was that the difficulty of upgrading was too high. One could not raise one's level at will. Another conjecture was that only a high-grade Dharma idol would be able to increase its level. For example, only a star-dermic aspect above rank 5 could raise its level. After consuming the golden divine grass, one had to slowly raise it to rank 5 first before it could bring about such an effect. Or perhaps, this is a special privilege that only the star Dharma idol has. Tianyan narrowed his eyes as he thought of this possibility. Otherwise, how could there be no information at all? There were very few people who possessed a unique star Dharma idol, and even fewer people knew how they could increase their level. Therefore, it was very likely that it was an effect that could only be achieved with the star Dharma idol. If that's really the case, the advantage of having a unique star Dharma idol will be even greater. I'll be able to widen the gap between us immediately. Tianyan squinted his eyes and smiled. The golden divine grass is said to be able to enhance one's perception, but it's probably only for those with lower levels of star energy. For those with unique star energy, the golden divine grass is a great supplement to increase their level. Speaking of which, what are the effects of the 9 revolution star grass? Perhaps I can continue to level up. Even Tianyan wanted to give it a try, but he felt that it was about time. After all, after leveling up, its power had greatly increased. He couldn't say that he could defeat everyone, but at least he wouldn't end up in such a sorry state when facing opponents who had taken the star venerable's blood. Then there was the 9 revolution star grass. If he used it to concoct pills, his strength might increase even more. If he really couldn't, he could use it to increase his level. It's about time. It's time to go and take a look at the situation. It's not too late. Tianyan stood up. His aura was even stronger than before. His sharpness was more reserved, and he could explode with the power to kill at any time. Just as Tianyan was about to set off, the seal outside was about to be broken. The main reason was that with Ji Fanyan's help, the speed of breaking the seal had greatly increased. Ji Fanyan was originally a member of the 5-colored divine race's upper echelon. Now that he had come to help, the seal would naturally be broken faster. My clan chief Ji, cooperate with us obediently. Otherwise, I'm afraid that not many of the 5-colored divine race will survive. Ji Fanyan's expression was cold. He wasn't worried about the 5-colored divine race being destroyed, or rather, he didn't care about the 5-colored divine race's survival. As long as they didn't cooperate, they would die. Don't be stupid. Even if we die, we won't surrender. Clan Chief Ji's gaze was ice cold, but his heart had fallen. If this went on, they would definitely be defeated. The other party had 3 star venerates. Apart from that, the other party's battle prowess was equally shocking. It was already not something they could resist. Originally, they could rely on this formation to gain the upper hand. Now that the formation was about to be broken, how could they gain the upper hand? Is that so? Then all of you can die. Ji Fanyan absorbed the surrounding 5 elements' energy and ruthlessly smashed it against the barrier. There was an intense impact, and the barrier nearly shattered. However, it wasn't far from shattering. Under the fierce impact, it was immediately covered in dense cracks. It looked very tragic. If it was hit 1 or 2 more times, it would definitely shatter. Quickly bring the younger generation and leave this place. Hurry! Clan Chief Ji finally gave the order to bring the younger generation and leave. Otherwise, it would be too late to escape. Yes. Among them, Grandpa Qi immediately stood up and brought Kai Shui and the others away. These were the youngest generation, and also the generation with the most potential. Naturally, they had to be brought away. There was no point in staying here, and they wouldn't be of any help. Previously, when they said that they would rather die than retreat, that they would rather live or die together, this was only referring to their group, not the younger generation. We won't leave. We will also stay here and fight. Right, we won't leave. We are not afraid of death. Even if we die, we will not let the green demon race succeed. I would rather die together with them than leave. Facing the powerful impact, just the fluctuations were enough to make their faces pale. However, they still clenched their teeth and refused to leave. Go. Grandpa Chi swept them away with his powerful strength. They didn't even have the ability to resist before they were taken away. No matter how they struggled, it was meaningless. Under Grandmaster Xing's power, they had no power to resist. But at this moment, there was a loud boom as the barrier was smashed open. Ji Fanyun and the others rushed in and coldly said, "None of you can leave." For a moment, the experts of the Green Demon race all rushed over. As for the other two Green Demon race star venerates, they immediately used their strongest power. A green light barrier enveloped this area, making it impossible for anyone to leave. Chapter 1964. Ji Fanyun and the others quickly charged in. Among them, the two Green Devil Star Sovereigns used all their skills to trap them inside. Everything was ready. They did not seal the entire small world, but when they charged in, they trapped the five-colored divine race in front of them. Bang! The group of juniors that Grandpa Chi brought hit the green light curtain and were repelled. When they were repelled, the juniors that they brought fell to the ground, not lightly. Grandpa Chi's condition was even more serious. Just touching the green light curtain drained a large portion of his life force, especially his right arm, which had collided with the light curtain, directly shriveled up. It looked like only skin and bones were left. No matter what, Grandpa Chi was in existence with the cultivation of a star master. Just touching it caused him to be in such a state. If someone with a lower cultivation touched it, wouldn't they immediately turn into a pile of skeletons? This situation caused their expressions to change. They did not expect these fellows to be so ruthless. They had long been prepared, and it was a very terrifying kind. "Grandpa Chi, are you all right?" They rushed over and helped Grandpa Chi up from the ground. Grandpa Chi's body trembled slightly, and his shriveled arm quickly recovered. However, his face was still pale. His arm had recovered, but it was still exhausted. Especially since the life force in his body had been extracted. It was not something that could be easily replenished. The reason why the Green Devil race was so terrifying was because of their life force extraction. Furthermore, it was very terrifying. Just touching it would suck a large portion of one's life force. In addition, this was set up by a Star Lord, so the effect was even more shocking. "I'm fine." Grandpa Chi's face was frighteningly pale, without any color. Seeing this, the expressions of clan leader Ji and the others changed. It seemed that if they did not break out of this situation, they would not be able to escape. "This time, we came prepared. We will definitely not fail like last time." Ji Fanyun's expression was cold as he sneered. "I'll ask you one last time. Are you going to surrender or resist?" "Die, traitor." Clan leader Ji's answer was simple and crude. The power behind him instantly erupted, and the powerful star Dharma immediately fused with him, turning him into a five-colored statue with 6 arms, waving colorful halos. This was their star Dharma, the 6-armed 5-colored god. Without too much nonsense, they immediately started fighting. Humph, a bunch of people who overestimate themselves. Ji Fanyun also had a 6-armed multicolored god behind his back. Its power was no weaker than Patriarch Ji's, and the two were on par. The one-on-one Green Demon Star Sovereigns were not a problem. However, the other two Green Demon Star Sovereigns were in big trouble. They pounced down one after another, immediately exerting a strong might on them. The 5-colored deity race only had 1 star venerate. Even if they fought to a draw, there was still another star venerate. Who could defend? Boom. Horrifying energy erupted in the air. The 4-star venerate level existences were already attacking their opponents relentlessly. Among them, the 5-colored deity race's Elder Ma Ze even used the star venerate's blood. After he used the star venerable's blood, the 6-armed 5-colored god on his back instantly turned into an 8-armed 5-colored god. layers of power stacked on top of each other, turning into the strongest power. The power of the star venerable level spread in all directions, and the power it brought with it turned the green demons nearby into ashes. Elder Ma Ze's cultivation wasn't high, and he could only choose to use the star venerate's blood when facing the green demon's sacred master. Even though it was extremely rare, he could only use it. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to persist for a long time. Even so, there was still the remaining green demon star sovereign. No one could stop him. The strongest of the 5-colored deity race's remaining combat prowess was only late-stage Grandmaster Xing. Even if a late-stage Grandmaster Xing used the star venerate's blood, he would not be able to bring out the best effect. He would only be able to use half of it. If the difference in cultivation was too great, he would not be able to use the star venerate's blood. Only a star venerate could make full use of the star venerate's blood. Otherwise, he would not be able to bring out the best effect. Furthermore, even if he could use it, he would not be invincible. There was still a large difference between him and a green demon battle sage. The star venerate's blood was not invincible. It could not allow a Grandmaster Xing to fight a late-stage star venerate expert, who was several levels above him. After all, this was only one drop. If there were several drops, or even a dozen drops, the effect might be more obvious. However, where would they get so much star venerate's blood? Every drop used meant one drop less, and there was very little left. The green demon race's side seemed to have a lot, but that was all they had. Star venerates were not cows. Their essence blood could not be casually squeezed out. Squeezing out 10 drops was already their limit. Furthermore, they could only squeeze out one drop at a time, not so many in one go. If they really squeezed out all of them, they would probably die. Thus, when the green demon battle sage pounced down, their expressions turned unsightly. Clan Head Ji and the others were very anxious, but they could not leave to help. They could only watch as the green demon's sacred master pounced down. What's wrong? Worried? It's useless. This time, you will definitely die. When Ji Fanyan saw how anxious Clan Head Ji and the others were, he felt even more delighted. This kind of expression made him even more excited. Kai Shui and the others paled under this pressure. They did not even have the strength to stand up. The difference in cultivation was too great, and their bodies were about to explode. Even if I die, I won't let you have your way. Grandpa Chi stepped forward. His cultivation was the strongest here. He held 3 drops of star venerate's blood in his hand, ready to erupt. He could only use it now. Otherwise, no one would be able to block the green demon battle sage. Oh, a mere Grandmaster Xing wants to use the star venerate's blood to suppress me? You are too naive. The green demon battle sage stretched out his hand and pressed down. He snorted coldly and said, I'll deal with you first. You suppressed us for so long. This time it's our turn. Grandpa Chi clenched his teeth and prepared to consume the star venerate's blood. Kai Shui's face turned pale. She could not help but look back. She shouted inwardly, Big brother, why haven't you come yet? In her mind, only Yi Tianyan could come to help. If Yi Tianyan did not come, Grandpa Chi would definitely die. If he used 3 drops of star venerate's blood in one go, he would not have long to live. This was the problem of the body's container. When it exceeded a certain capacity, the body would definitely explode. Sister, it seems like we cannot escape. Kai Yin held Kai Shui's hand tightly and said with a smile, After we go down, I'm afraid we won't have the face to see father and mother. They had thought about killing many green demons with their own hands. It seemed like they would not have such a chance. No, there is still a chance. Big brother will come to save us. That human? Kai Yin asked confusedly. Didn't he escape? Before her voice had died away, the green screen behind them was suddenly split open, and a giant hole appeared. A giant 5-colored emperor dragon pounced on it and pressed down. The green demon battle sage was sent flying with a slap. Growl. Chapter 1965. Just like that, the battle saint of the green demon race was slapped to the ground. With a loud bang, a deep pit was formed in the ground. The terrifying power caused everyone's heart to tremble. Everyone's gaze was attracted by this. They were all deeply shocked by the figure of the 5-colored emperor dragon, especially the power that was above everything. It was simply an invincible existence. As soon as it arrived, it used its strongest stance to suppress the Green Demon Battle Saint. After sending the Green Demon Battle Saint flying, it swung its tail crazily. A large number of green demons were swept away. The green demon race that was swept by it basically had a slim chance of survival. Those who could survive would at most be on their last breaths. What a strong power! Is it helping us? When Patriarch G and the others saw this, they were all shocked. Suddenly barging in, breaking through the green screen, and then killing their way in here to help suppress the Green Demon Battle Saint. No matter how they thought about it, they would never have thought about this. Naturally, they did not think that there would be helpers coming to help. Their five-colored divine race had always been here to seal the green demon race. As for allies, they did not have any at all. Thus, it was impossible to hope for any allies to save them. Now someone had killed their way in, and helped them resist the green demon race. Upon closer inspection, they found that the figure inside was actually a human. Human race? It's actually a human, could it be? Patriarch G and the others immediately thought of the news they had heard before, that a human had killed the Green Demon Saint King, and that Green Demon Saint King. Why would he appear here, and help them resist the Green Demon race? When the Green Demon race saw Etienne's face clearly, they all let out furious voices. They immediately recognized Etienne as the murderer, who killed the Green Demon Saint King. Why is this guy here? Good, I didn't expect your five-colored divine race to join hands with other races. You would rather ally with an outsider than the Green Devil race? Ji Fanyan was shocked and angry. He did not expect such an existence to appear. Everything was somewhat beyond his expectations. That's right, even if we join hands with outsiders, we will not join hands with the disgusting Green Demon race. Patriarch G naturally lied. This way he could deceive his opponent. All right, then let's see if an outsider like you can help you get through this. Ji Fanyan roared, continuing to suppress his anger. When Green Demon Holy Lord saw Green Demon Battle Sage being sent flying, his eyes turned red and he roared in anger. Audacious human, come and die. His own clansmen were sent flying, coupled with the fact that the Green Demon Holy King was killed, he immediately turned and charged towards Etienne. They planned to eliminate Etienne first, then deal with the five-colored god race. While Rosy Cloud was preparing to fight with Etienne, she was stunned. When she saw Etienne's figure, she immediately recognized him. He was the cultivator that her sister saved before. The tyrannical power caused her body to tremble. She exploded the Green Demon Battle Sage with a single palm strike. Such an invincible aura caused her to be shocked speechless. Previously, she thought that Etienne's power was not bad, but he must have borrowed the power of others to suppress his opponent. Now, it seemed that he did not need the power of others. Just the power of his own Star Dharma idol was enough to crush everything. Sister, I said that he would definitely come back to help us. Kai Shui waved her small fist, her face flushed with excitement. Kai Shui was very excited. Just as she was about to lose hope, Etienne finally came and sent the seemingly invincible Green Demon Battle Sage flying with a single palm strike. This performance was enough to let them see hope. Yes. Kai Shui stared blankly at the godlike Etienne, her heart filled with all sorts of emotions. Previously, she thought that Etienne had escaped, but who knew that he did not leave and stayed here? At this most dangerous moment, he finally came and saved them. Now that the green screen has been broken, let's take this opportunity to leave. Grandpa Chi's eyes lit up. For the time being, regardless of why Etienne came to save them, now that the green screen had been broken, they could take this opportunity to quickly escape. Immediately, Grandpa Chi brought them and quickly escaped outside. If the green screen closed again, they would not have the chance to escape. Although they were still a little reluctant, looking at the current situation, it was still better to leave. Following them, they quickly escaped through the green screen and disappeared outside the passage. Before Kai Shui finally left, she looked over worriedly. She wanted to stay and see how Etienne was doing, but it seemed that it was not possible at the moment. Staying here would only be a burden. Don't worry, we can still pay attention to the situation here. Kai Shui knew her sister's thoughts and reminded her from the side. Could it be that we are hiding in the temple? Kai Shui was startled and asked doubtfully. We can't go in normally, can we? You said that we can't go in normally, but at the critical moment, we can still go in. Immediately, under Grandpa Chi's lead, they entered the temple in the distance. As soon as they entered the temple, Grandpa Chi opened the seal's protective cover and surrounded the temple tightly. You should stay here. As long as the Star Venerable does not come out, no one can break into our temple. At the critical moment, you can still escape through the transmission formation inside. If you have to, it is better not to escape. Grandpa Chi glanced at them, then turned around and flew out of the temple. As one of the strongest fighters here, it was impossible for him to hide here. Kai Shui looked into the depths of the temple and immediately understood what Grandpa Chi had meant. The transmission formation inside could probably allow them to leave this sealed land and go to the outside world. If the five-colored Holy Clan went out, they would be very conspicuous. Unless they huddled together, they would be easily captured. That was why Grandpa Chi said that they could only leave this place if they had to. However, Kai Shui's attention did not leave this place. Instead, she was focused on Yi Tianyan, who was at the forefront. From here, she could clearly see the situation on Yi Tianyan's side, so her attention was focused on Yi Tianyan. Big brother, you must hold on. Kai Shui put her palms together and prayed inwardly. He definitely can. Kai Shui, who was next to her, hugged her sister. Seeing Yi Tianyan's domineering figure in front of them, she also hoped that this outsider could help them resist the Green Demon clan. Especially now that even the Green Demon Sacred Master was attacking them. Could he hold on? Swoosh! Chapter 1966. Facing the two powerful star venerates, Yi Tianyan remained calm. This was especially so for the Green Demon Battle Sage, who had already consumed a drop of star venerate blood. An endless stream of life force surged out of his body, quickly healing his injuries. Originally, under Yi Tianyan's ferocious attacks, even if he did not die, he would not be able to get up for the time being. After all, after he broke through, his strength had increased significantly. Under his ferocious attacks, even ordinary star venerates would be killed in one move. This was especially so for those unprepared star venerates. They would be instantly killed. The Green Demon Battle Sage was prepared, but he was still covered in injuries from Yi Tianyan's attacks. He could not fight at all. He could only rely on the star venerate blood to recover from his injuries. Otherwise, not to mention fighting, he could only watch from the side. You are the human who killed my brother? The Green Demon Battle Sage's body erupted with a terrifying power. The power of a star venerate vaguely started to pressure him. This caused the astral energy above Yi Tianyan's head to dim slightly. This was the difference in Cultivation Realm. The suppression of Cultivation Realm was also extremely horrifying. The other Green Demon Holy Master also surrounded Yi Tianyan. The two of them surrounded Yi Tianyan, sealing off all his escape routes. Your brother? Are you talking about the Green Demon Holy King? So what if I killed him? Yi Tianyan had an indifferent expression as he looked around. He did not feel any danger at all. Then go to hell. The two late-stage star venerate experts surrounded him. The images behind them soared up crazily. The astral energy above them spread out in all directions. The strong pressure increased the pressure on the five-colored holy race's side. This was especially so for the Green Demon Battle Sage, who had consumed the star venerate blood. He even had 15 cubes of astral energy. They attacked as soon as they said they would. They did not have time to chat. They still needed to deal with the five-colored holy race. There were many things they needed to do. When the two of them worked together, even if it was wood-attributed energy, they still had the power to destroy the world. This situation made the hearts of Kai Shui and the others tighten. Even the five-colored holy race, who did not know why Yi Tianyan saved them, tightened their hearts. They also hoped that Yi Tianyan would be able to hold on and help them resist all of this. They really didn't have any extra power to resist the Green Devil race. Everything had been consumed before. The rest of the Star Masters were also resisting the Green Demon race. However, there were too few of them and it was still too difficult to fight against them. Everything rested on clan head Ji and Tianyan. Only by defeating the opposing star monarchs could they turn defeat into victory. The strongest combat power was often the most important. For cultivators, strength in numbers was just nonsense. Facing the encirclement of 2-star venerates, Tianyan turned around, and his huge dragon eyes flashed. Then he opened his jaws and swallowed fiercely. Devour the stars. Tianyan's gigantic figure leaped forward and swallowed the green demon battle saint's star power in one gulp. The star power of the 4 directions. Logically speaking, it should be able to devour stellar energy from 5 directions. However, this energy was simply too strong, and it could only devour stellar energy from 4 directions. Of course, this was already heaven-defying enough. After devouring it, it rushed to 16 directions of stellar energy in one go. It wasn't over yet. Tianyan's eyes flashed, and he rushed towards the green demon Holy Lord on the other side and swallowed fiercely. Devour the stars. Once again, he used the Devour the Stars and swallowed the stellar energy from 4 directions above the green demon Holy Lord. However, he only used 2 directions of stellar energy, thus reaching 18 directions of stellar energy. A total of 18 directions of stellar energy. An extremely terrifying level. The entire starry sky trembled because of him. With a slight tremble, the power seemed to turn into a crushing star, suppressing everything. He can even devour our stellar energy. This is still 18 directions of stellar energy. The green demon battle saint and the others were all stunned. They weren't very clear about Tianyan's fighting style. Now that they saw it, their hearts trembled and they were scared out of their wits. Devouring the opponent's stellar energy and superimposing it on himself. This kind of effect was really too terrifying. The 5-colored divine race's side was even more stunned. All of their mouths were wide open, unable to say anything. They had always thought that their abilities were shocking enough. They didn't expect an even more terrifying existence to appear. Big brother, too powerful. Kai Shue's body trembled, her beautiful eyes filled with surprise. As long as one wasn't a fool, they would know what power 18 directions of stellar energy represented. Primal chaos rage. Tianyan didn't waste any words with them. He opened his huge mouth and a huge beam of light swept out, hitting the green demon battle saint. Then, it swept to the side and hit the green demon Holy Lord again. The remaining power once again swept out in all directions, and a large area of Grandmaster Xing was turned to dust. When this attack disappeared, almost half of the Grandmaster Xing that it had brought with it were gone. If it wasn't for Tianyan worrying about attacking the 5-colored divine race, the number of deaths would have been more than this. Under the sweep, the 2 late-stage star monarchs of the green demon race disappeared. Only Tianyan was left in the sky. The tyrannical dragon might made everyone's legs go soft. Perhaps this was true invincibility. Clan head Ji was also stunned. Ji Fanyan, who was fighting with him, flew to the side and looked over in a daze. If his 2-star venerate companions were defeated, then what was the point of fighting? How could a one-on-one fight be fun? He would definitely be toyed to death by the 5-colored divine race. This was especially so for this tyrannical 5-colored emperor dragon. With a slap he would probably be sent flying. What kind of monster is this? Why is he helping the 5-colored divine race? Why? Ji Fanyan was about to go crazy. All his meticulous plans were ruined by an intruder. Could he be the descendant of our benefactor? Clan head Ji was startled. Such tyrannical power. It was very likely that he was the descendant of our benefactor. What dogs hit descendant of our benefactor? This is impossible. That powerhouse didn't leave any information behind, and it's impossible for him to have any descendants. Ji Fanyan immediately retorted, but he didn't believe it in his heart. After all, why would an outsider help the 5-colored divine race? This was something he couldn't understand. Even if he wasn't the descendant of our benefactor, he was definitely a helper of the 5-colored divine race. It's over? Kai Shue and the others looked over in a daze. In just one exchange he had crushed 2 green demon race experts? This was too fast. How long had it been since the start? On the other side, Tianyan heaved a sigh of relief. He felt that after his strength increased, the effects were astonishing. Originally, the swallowing starry sky could only devour the star power of one person. However, after he broke through to the second layer, he could devour the star power of 2 people. From this, it could be determined that after reaching the third layer, wouldn't he be able to devour the star power of 3 people? Chapter 1967. Tianyan felt that swallowing the golden divine grass had been a wise decision. Otherwise, it would not have been easy to deal with the 2 star lords. Now that he had broken through, he had reached a whole new level. Even though his cultivation level had not increased, the increase in his combat prowess was very obvious. Rumble! 2 pillars of light soared into the sky, and the horrifying star venerable power spread out in all directions. Everywhere they went was devoured by the horrifying green pillars of light. Even the green demon race's own people were quickly sucked dry. Some of the 5-colored divine race's members who had not escaped were instantly sucked dry, on the verge of death. This horrifying power meant that the 2 green demon star lords were not dead. Instead, they had consumed the star venerable's blood to prolong their lives. Boom! The 2 green demon star lords flew up. Only their small heads were left on their bodies. However, their bodies were quickly reconstructing, and they would soon recover completely. They had almost died. If not for the star venerable's blood helping them resist the damage, they would have been killed instantly. No wonder you could kill the green demon Holy King. We underestimated your power. But everything ends here. The green demon battle sage shouted angrily. We will use all the star venerable's blood. Even if a star venerable comes, we can kill him. Each of them had consumed at least 3 or 4 drops of star venerable's blood. Their power soared crazily, and their power stacked up. They really looked like star venerables. This effect was similar to what the green demon Holy King had used previously. They had both used a fierce attack as a final burst of power. However, Tianyan was now facing 2 green demon Holy Kings, not just one. If he had concentrated his power to attack them like before, they would not have been able to resist. He was not invincible. His power had increased, but his defense had not increased much. But even if he had increased his power, he would still die if he was attacked by 2 freaks. Tianyan did not find it strange that they were so tenacious. If they could die so easily, they would not be the green demon battle sage and the green demon holy master. They had the star venerable's blood in their hands. As long as they did not deliberately want to die, they would have an extra life. The 2 of them are not dead yet. Their faces were pale. The group of 5-colored god race in the temple wailed in their hearts. After the emergence of such a terrible power, the 18 square of star power above Tianyan began to lose some of the star power was forcibly taken back. This was the difference in realms. If the difference was too great, the other party's stable state would be very abnormal. Naturally, it would be difficult to devour it. In the blink of an eye, the astral power from 18 cubes became 14 cubes. However, they all had 15 or even 16 cubic meters of star power, so they seemed very weak. Both of them have exploded. Your helper is dead for sure. Previously, when the green demon Holy King was killed, it was only one person. Now that there are 2 of them, he is dead for sure. Even if it's a unique Dharma idol, it won't do. Ji Fanyan wasn't in a hurry to fight family head Ji. Instead, he watched from the side. In fact, he even moved a little to the back, ready to escape at any time and ready to fight immediately. How despicable. You even used the star venerable's blood. If you didn't have the star venerable's blood, you would definitely die. Family head Ji said coldly. What a joke. The winner takes it all. Why are you talking about other things? Aren't you too childish? Ji Fanyan said mockingly. Of course, if you give him the star venerable's blood, you will also have the star venerable's blood. However, the star venerable's blood probably won't have any effect on him, right? Our star venerable's blood will only have an effect on our race. It won't have any effect on others. Family head Ji's face turned ashen. That was right. Their 5-colored god race's star venerable's blood couldn't be used by others. The main reason was that the attribute wasn't suitable. It could easily cause confusion. If it was used casually, not only would it have no effect, It might even cause one's body to explode. On Yi Tianyun's side, facing the two exploding star venerables, his expression became serious. He knew that if he didn't strengthen himself, it would be difficult to deal with them. Then, when his gaze shifted to Grandpa Qi, his eyes immediately lit up. "Friend, can you give me a drop of the Star Venerable's blood?" Yi Tianyun's eyes lit up when he felt the Star Venerable's blood in Grandpa Qi's hand. He could feel the surging power of the 5 elements contained in it. This power was very effective for him. It could even be said to be a perfect match. Grandpa Qi was stunned. He wanted to use a drop to erupt with power to resist the green demon race. Now that Yi Tianyun asked, he didn't know what to do. "I'm afraid you can't use this Star Venerable's blood. If it's not used by our race, it might cause problems." Grandpa Qi didn't refuse immediately. No matter what, Yi Tianyun was helping them resist the green demon race. If not for Yi Tianyun, they would have been suppressed long ago. "Don't worry, I can use this thing," Yi Tianyun said hurriedly. The 2 star venerables of the green demon race were about to pounce on him. If he didn't hurry, it would be too late. But Grandpa Qi didn't have the power to decide. He could use it, but the real decision to give to Yi Tianyun was naturally made by the patriarch. "Give it to him." Patriarch Ji immediately shouted, motioning for Grandpa Qi to give it to him. Grandpa Qi nodded and immediately threw the Star Venerable's blood to Yi Tianyun. Yi Tianyun held the drop of Star Venerable's blood in his hand and felt the rich power of the 5 elements in it, which made him feel refreshed. This was indeed the Star Venerable's blood. Especially this kind of unique Star Venerable's blood, it made him feel like his body was boiling. He felt that if he used it, he would definitely erupt. When the 2 green demon race saw Yi Tianyun get the Star Venerable's blood, they didn't panic at all. If Yi Tianyun was from the 5-colored divine race, they might panic a little. However, Yi Tianyun was from the human race, so there was no need to panic. "Haha, do you think that after getting the Star Venerable's blood and using it, you will be stronger than us? What an idiot. If you have the ability, quickly use it." The Green Demon Holy Master and the others all knew the consequences of using the Star Venerable's blood other than the 5-colored divine race. They couldn't wait for Yi Tianyun to use it immediately. This way they could save time and effort. They wouldn't need to spend much effort to subdue Yi Tianyun. "Lord Patriarch, why did he let Grandpa Qi give him the Star Venerable's blood? If he uses it, there will be problems." When Kaiyun saw this, she became anxious. Wasn't this a bad thing? "No, I feel that after Big Brother uses it, there will be no problems at all. He will only become stronger." Kai Shue's eyes flickered. She had a feeling that after Yi Tianyun used it, he would definitely usher in a brand new power. But he is from the human race, not our 5-colored divine race. Kaiyun still didn't believe that Yi Tianyun would be fine. Not to mention her, even Patriarch Ji didn't believe it. Chapter 1968. Yi Tianyun did not have the Star Venerable's blood, but he could still fight against the 2 Green Demon Star Lords. After all, he still had the Green Demon Star Venerable's blood, and he could still use it. Other people thought he could not use it, but he knew his situation. He could use the Star Venerable's blood of any race. His constitution meant that he could use all the effects of the Star Venerable's blood. The 5-colored Emperor Dragon's tyrannical power alone could subdue all tyrannical powers. In addition, he had the power of the 5 elements, so he could use all kinds of powers. He had asked Grandpa Qi to give him the Star Venerable's blood, so he had to use it as much as possible. Did he have to use all the Star Venerable's blood he had? No matter what, he had come to help. It would be unreasonable if he did not give them some help. Fortunately, they had given him some, which made him feel relieved. "Do you think I will explode if I use the 5-colored divine Star Venerable's blood?" Yi Tianyun held the Star Venerable's blood and looked at the 2 Green Demon Star Lords surrounding him with a smile. They had been about to attack him, but now they had stopped. They were obviously confident that he could not use the Star Venerable's blood. They were sure that Yi Tianyun could not use the Star Venerable's blood. Once he used it, it would only cause great harm to his body. It would not bring him any benefits. "It's hard to say. You will know once you try it." They smiled wickedly. waiting for Etianyan to use it. If it were the five-colored Divine Star Lord, they would have attacked long ago to stop him. Ji Clan's master wore a grave expression. He was not confident at all. He did not know why he did not refuse when Etianyan asked for the Star Venerable's blood. Ji Clan's master, you played your cards well. It seems like you have pinned all your hopes on him. Ji Fanyan smiled. He had been able to resist for a while. But now, if he used the Star Venerable's blood, he would be able to kill Etianyan without doing anything. Even if I pinned all my hopes on him, it would be better than pinning them on you. Ji Clan's master looked at him coldly. Ji Fanyan sneered. My way of thinking is the correct one. It's better than hiding here. As for dealing with the Green Devil race, that's just wishful thinking. The Green Demon race has an extremely strong power in the underground world. If they can all come out, our five-colored divine race will definitely be pushed to the point where not even a speck of dust remains. So what? I only know what to do and what not to do. Ji Fanyan, you are wrong. Patriarch Ji said coldly. Whether it's wrong or not, we'll see if your reinforcements take the Star Venerable's blood. Ji Fanyan coldly snorted. At this moment, Etianyan picked up the Star Venerable's blood and stuffed it into his mouth without any hesitation. After taking it, the surface of Etianyan's body quickly glowed with 5 colors. Following that, he began to heat up. The surface of his skin was like a raging wave, rolling up and down. Ha ha ha, as expected, I can't absorb it. The negative effects are starting to appear. Seeing that, they started to laugh out loud. After the 5-colored divine race consumed it, such a situation would not occur. After Etianyan consumed it, his body swelled up. It was obvious that his body was about to explode. With Etianyan's cultivation, his body would not explode. However, suppressing this power, how could he divert his attention to fight? He could only let himself be slaughtered. He did not even have the strength to resist. Patriarch Ji closed his eyes in pain. It seemed that the miracle did not appear. They were really going to be finished. Kaiyan covered her mouth. This situation was obviously going to be finished. She had really believed Kai Shue's words before, that there would be a miracle. But the miracle did not appear. Etianyan was going to be finished. It's okay. Big brother can do it. Kai Shue still believed that Etianyan did not fail. The fluctuations on the surface of his body did not mean that he would definitely fail. Sister. Kaiyan shook her head and sighed deeply. She did not say anything more. She did not want to destroy her sister's fantasy, but the truth was like this. If there had been no rejection, he would have exploded all of his power like what they had done. His body would not have swelled up. What an idiot. I thought I would have to spend some effort. Now I don't have to. Kill him. The Green Demon Battle Saint and the others laughed. They were all ready to fight against Etianyan. They had consumed the Star Venerable's blood, but they had to be cautious when facing such a powerful Etianyan. Now they did not even need to attack fiercely. Their opponent seemed to have lost his power to fight. When they had surrounded Etianyan, Etianyan suddenly shouted, and turned into the giant 5-colored Emperor Dragon again. The 5-colored dragon scales on the surface of his body became even more dazzling and darker. At the same time, a beam of starlight soared into the sky. The star power he had possessed increased to 20 cubic meters in one go. If not me, who else can do it? Etianyan, who had turned into the 5-colored Emperor Dragon, was even bigger than before. His eyes shone brightly. He could make his opponent explode with just a glance. Roar. Etianyan looked up to the sky and roared, and a violent power burst out in all directions. The powerful sound wave directly impacted the 2 Green Devil Star Sovereigns, forcing them to retreat. The Green Devil race, who was slightly further away, had his head exploded, and his soul exploded. 220 cubic meters of star power? They opened their eyes wide. They had never seen so much star power. The area it covered was even more shocking than before. The key was that there was a qualitative change above it. Under normal circumstances, it would only be a patch of silver light. But now there was a Milky Way above it. The light shining down was like a bright moon, and the surrounding stars had become dim and lifeless. What kind of star could be brighter than the moon? Primal chaos rage. Tianyan opened his mouth and condensed a giant energy cannon. It was at least 20 times more powerful than before. Awful. Run. The green demon battle saint and the others were so scared that they turned around and fled. A sense of death welled up in their hearts. They were naturally sensitive, and they knew they could not resist it. They could only flee. But how could Tianyan let them escape? The terrifying death beam swept out once again. Everything in its path was reduced to ashes, including the green demon battle saint and the green demon holy master. They were instantly engulfed and turned into ashes. Merging with the star venerable's blood was useless. They were directly destroyed by the destructive light. Not even a speck was left. Ding. Successfully killed the green demon battle saint. Obtained a drop of star venerable's blood, green demon race. Ding. Successfully killed the green demon holy master. Obtained a drop of star venerable's blood, green demon race. Tianyan's mind was only focused on the star venerable's blood. He completely ignored the star energy points. Although it was a large amount of star energy points, it was still a drop in the ocean for him. Chapter 1969. When the experience and rewards popped up, Tianyan could confirm whether his opponents were dead or not. Before, when they did not pop up, he knew that the two star lords were not dead. Now that he had been ejected, he was certain that his opponent was dead for sure. Moreover, it was the kind of death that was certain. It's over. The battle is over. Tianyan returned to his original form and let out a deep breath. The two star lords were dead, so the situation was under his control. All that was left was Ji Fanyan. As long as he suppressed Ji Fanyan, everything would be over. The rest of the green demons were like trash. With a sweep, they were easily dealt with. I have to say that the star venerate's blood is really powerful. If my body was not strong enough, I would not have been able to endure such a surging power. When Tianyan took the star venerate's blood, he immediately felt his body churn. Actually, it was the energy flowing to his limbs. He was different from the five-colored divine race. After they took it, it would only appear in their bodies, but for him, it would appear on the surface of his body. When he frantically strengthened his body, this kind of terrifying situation would appear. But that was all. It did not cause him any harm. It only seemed slightly terrifying, but it would not cause him any harm. Thus, in the eyes of others, Tianyan's body was about to explode, or something had happened to his body. In reality, it was just a slight change in his body. From this, it could be seen that the star venerate's blood was not something other cultivators could feel. He had relied on his strong body to endure such a strong power. Correspondingly, after enduring it, the power he erupted with surpassed his imagination. He had not expected it to increase by so much. Being able to reach 20 units of stellar power was largely due to the effects of devouring the stars. Otherwise, just relying on the star venerate's blood would not have been able to achieve such a high effect. Then he looked in Ji Fanyan's direction. Ji Fanyan was slightly startled. Then he turned and fled. He was already quite far away. After exploding with speed, he disappeared from everyone's sight in the blink of an eye. Ji Fanyan had indeed prepared everything, and was ready to escape at any time. He fled as soon as he said he would, without any hesitation. You want to leave? Tianyan naturally would not let Ji Fanyan escape. As long as it was an enemy of the five-colored divine race, he would not let them go. Only in this way would the five-colored god race be even more grateful to him. His body flashed, and the wind force in his body rolled up. With the help of 20 cubes of astral power, his speed became even faster. In the blink of an eye, he tore through the void and traveled forward. A moment later, Tianyan appeared, flicking his wrist and sending a figure flying back toward him. A figure fell from the sky like a meteorite and smashed into the ground. It bounced a few times before finally falling limply to the ground. Everyone looked carefully and realized that it was Ji Fanyan who had just escaped. Right now, let alone Fanyan, he was feeling dizzy and paralyzed on the ground. His entire body was half crippled, and the power in his body had been suppressed. Against Tianyan's strength, he could not resist at all. Unless he took the star venerable's blood, he would not be able to resist Tianyan's power. However, he didn't have a Star Venerable's blood, so he couldn't even take it if he wanted to. Such a scene stunned everyone. After all, these were 3-star Venerate experts. Yet, they were like dogs, beaten up so badly that they could not resist. They all wondered if a Star Venerable had descended. Otherwise, how could he be so strong? However, they could still feel that Tianyan was only a late-stage Star Venerable, not a Star Venerable. After Tianyan knocked Ji Fanyan back, he did not stop. Instead, he turned around and charged at the other green demons, continuing to eliminate them. He did not want to waste so much astral energy. He would earn as much as he could. He would not let go of any astral energy. Kill. The 5-colored god race's morale soared. They were already very courageous in the first place. Now their morale was even higher. As the green demons pressed forward, when they saw the Star Venerates die, their hearts died as well. The beings they believed in the most had been killed in an instant. Furthermore, they had been killed by a human. They could not accept this. Even the Green Demon Holy King had been killed. This meant that the 3 lords had all been killed by Tianyan. He was simply the bane of the Green Devil race. He had killed so many experts here, causing the Green Devil race to feel like dying ashes. Now Tianyan swept all the Green Demon clan in his way, and he killed every single Green Demon clan member he encountered. Not a single Green Demon clan member escaped. As long as they touched him, they would be killed. As Tianyan swept through the remaining Green Demons, Clan Master Ji looked at Ji Fanyan, who was at his feet. He was extremely shocked. He knew how strong Ji Fanyan was. He was not any weaker than him. Ji Fanyan had originally competed with him for the position of Clan Master. In the end, Ji Fanyan had been defeated. Although he could not become Clan Master, Ji Fanyan's strength was about the same as his. But now he was being crushed. This was simply too shocking for him. This was the first time he had seen someone use a Star Venerable's blood to such an extent. He even felt that Tianyan had not used his full power. He had been holding back. You lost. Clan Master Ji thought for a while and finally said, "You lost." "Haha, I lost. If you want to kill me or torture me, do as you please." Ji Fanyan laughed, his laughter filled with misery. He had not expected that his plan, which he had been so confident in, would fail just like that. Furthermore, it was a complete mess. Don't worry. When the time comes, the entire clan will come to punish you. For now, let's deal with the matters here first. Clan Master Ji continued to add star runes to Ji Fanyan's body, sealing him even more firmly. Then, he handed Ji Fanyan to his subordinates to watch over him while he went to kill the green demons. There were still many green demons present. As the clan master, he naturally had to participate in the battle. Originally, he should have made a move against so many Star Venerates, who knew that he would not even need to do anything before Tianyan finished them off. As the clan master, he had not done much. This made him feel rather awkward. Now he could only find some pride from the remaining green demons. We won! We won! Kai Shui hugged her big sister and started shouting. I knew Big Brother would win. I knew it. She was very happy. At the start, she had thought that Tianyan would win. Kai Yin had not believed in her. Now that she had won, she was naturally happy. This is really a miracle. Kai Yin muttered as she looked at the situation. Chapter 1970. Tianyan had defeated all of the green demons. Most of them had been killed by him, not because he was actively helping the 5-colored holy race, but because he wanted to earn more star energy. Only with more star energy could he level up. He couldn't wait to break through to the Star Venerable realm. Only by breaking through to the Star Venerable realm would he be able to control more power. By then, he would be able to destroy the Jade God ancestral land with a single stomp. However, he was still a long way from breaking through to the Star Venerable realm. It's over. Tianyan heaved a sigh of relief. His mind was somewhat exhausted. This was because he had consumed too much energy, especially the Star Venerable realm's blood. It was very powerful when consumed, but once its effects disappeared, his body would be severely exhausted. After all, this was a great explosion, and it required a body as a foundation. Naturally, It consumed the body's condition, which was why he seemed so exhausted. Seeing that all of the green demons had been eliminated, the only one who had survived was Ji Fanyan. Ji Fanyan wasn't a green demon, but a 5-colored holy race. That was why he had survived. As soon as he stopped, he felt the gazes of the people around him. They were all filled with gratitude and shock. They didn't know why Tianyan had helped them, but that wasn't important. All they needed to know was that Tianyan had come to help them. Without his help, they would have fallen into the enemy's hands by now. Friend, thank you for your help. If it weren't for you, we probably wouldn't have been able to resist this attack. But there's one thing I don't understand. Why are you in our world? The Ji clan's master's eyes flashed. It was true that Tianyan had helped them, but why was he in their world? That was another matter altogether. If he had been lying in ambush here, what would he have done? Or, how had Tianyan managed to sneak in? Their world might not be impregnable, but at least it couldn't be casually entered. That's a long story. Before I answer, can Clan Master Ji not pursue the matter? Tianyan said with a smile. We won't pursue this matter. Even if you snuck in here to steal our treasures, we'll just accept it. Compared to those treasures, you have helped our 5-colored divine race through this difficult time. This kind of kindness is extremely worth exchanging with treasures. However, I don't think you're here to steal our treasures. After all, if you really wanted to steal our treasures, you would have taken advantage of our crisis to escape and not come to help us. Patriarch Ji was very calm and didn't let his thoughts run wild. If it was really that kind of thief, he would have fled long ago. Why would he come to help? This investigation isn't about me. Of course, since Patriarch Ji has said so, you can let the two sisters Kai Shui and Kai Yun testify for me. They know what happened. Tianyan was worried that the two of them would be punished, so he asked clan leader Ji to make a promise first. Kai Shui and Kai Yun. Patriarch Ji was startled. He had quite an impression of these two sisters. Their innate talents weren't bad, but they weren't the type that stood out. Why was he asking about them? Clan leader Ji gestured for them to bring him out. Now that they were safe, there was naturally no need to hide in the temple. Soon Kai Shui and Kai Yun came over. As soon as Kai Shui arrived, she quickly rushed over and said excitedly, Big brother, I knew you were very powerful. Big sister still didn't believe that you could defeat them. Tianyan reached out and patted her little head. He smiled and said, If it wasn't for your help, I wouldn't have been able to defeat them. What's going on? This friend said that the reason he could come in is related to you? Patriarch Ji looked at them and asked. This. Kai Yun was a bit nervous, but she still told him everything in detail. After knowing, Patriarch Ji revealed an expression of sudden realization. The other elders also nodded. They didn't expect there to be such a connection. So that's how it is. It seems that Kai Shui brought back a strong helper for us. Patriarch Ji smiled and didn't blame the two sisters. At the same time, he rejoiced that Tianyan wasn't the kind of person who would cause trouble. Otherwise, the clan would be in trouble. However, he somewhat approved of Kai Shui's actions. To be able to help eliminate the enemy who killed his parents, no matter what, he had to help. This kind of feeling was understandable. Indeed, if it wasn't for Kai Shui bringing me back, I really wouldn't have been able to help you. Tianyan smiled and said, This is a kind of repayment for Kai Shui. Since she helped me, I will help her. No matter what, compared to Kai Shui's kindness to you, your help is really much greater. Patriarch Ji smiled and said, Let's not talk about anything else. After this matter is settled, we will definitely treat you well. Now go and rest for a while. Leave the matters here to us. They were all very happy. This battle had very few losses, and they even caught the traitor Ji Fanyan. This was a great harvest. Tianyan nodded, and left the rest of the finishing touches to them. As an outsider, he naturally stayed in his room and waited for news. He believed that through this matter, the 5-colored divine clan would definitely treat him well, and treat him as a good friend. Immediately, he was led by Kai Shui and Kai Yun to the VIP room. He didn't need to hide in his room anymore. Instead, a very good courtyard was arranged for him. This time, the two sisters were completely used to serve him and listen to his orders. The main reason was that they were originally more familiar with Yi Tianyun, so they were sent to serve him. Big brother, you're really too amazing. In the outside world, you must be the most amazing, right? Kai Shue's eyes were full of stars. She worshipped Yi Tianyun very much. How could that be? In the outside world, there are many who are more amazing than me. Yi Tianyun smiled and said. Kai Yan pulled Kai Shue over and told her to be more polite. Sir, this is our 5-colored divine spring. Please have a taste. Kai Yan naturally wasn't as impudent as Kai Shue. She didn't dare to be as impudent as before. Instead, she completely put down her attitude and respectfully served Yi Tianyun. Yi Tianyun took the tea and took a sip. He smiled and said, There's no need to be so restrained. It's good to be like before. Kai Yan's face turned red. How would she dare to do that now? At that time, she didn't know Yi Tianyun's strength. Now that he was the benefactor of the 5-colored divine clan, she didn't dare to be impudent. I don't dare. Big brother is very kind. Why do you need to be so restrained? I still have a lot of things to ask big brother. Kai Shue leaned over again and continued to stick to Yi Tianyun. Kai Yan felt very helpless. She could only let her sister do whatever she wanted. At this time, a melodious voice sounded in his ears. Ding! Successfully completed. Resist the Green Demon Clan's encirclement and rescue the 5-colored divine clan. Obtained 100 points of 5-colored divine clan's favorability. At the same time, obtained a chance to upgrade the system skill can be accumulated. System skill upgrade chance can upgrade the skills you currently possess, except crazy mode. Chapter 1971. Yi Tianyun stayed here for a few days. During these days, delicious food and drinks were served to him. Apart from not being able to go out as he pleased, he was able to stay here and move around. Soon, everything outside was taken care of. Yi Tianyun followed them out. At this time, most of the area outside had been repaired. There were not as many traces of battle as before. He was invited to the palace, which was also decorated lavishly. Piles of fruit wine and spirit fruits filled the place. All kinds of delicacies were piled up. It was a grand feast. It looked like a grand ceremony, but seeing how they were staring at him, he guessed that they had arranged this kind of extravagance to welcome him. Star-Lord Skycloud, you're here. Clan leader Ji stood up and greeted him with a smile. Sorry to keep you waiting. We spent a lot of time repairing this place. It's all thanks to you that we were able to get through this. For this, we have set up decorations that are usually reserved for grand ceremonies. It's to thank you for your help. That's too much. Yi Tianyun smiled. He had seen this kind of extravagance before. However, they were so enthusiastic that he felt a little embarrassed. It's not an exaggeration. If it weren't for you, I'm afraid this kind of grand ceremony would never happen again. Clan leader Ji sighed, then maintained his smile. Forget it. Let's not talk about this. Let's celebrate first. Fellow clansmen, it's all thanks to Star-Lord Skycloud that we were able to get through this. Let's toast to him. Clan leader Ji raised his wine cup. Even though this place was rather isolated, this kind of toast was unavoidable. One by one, the clansmen raised their cups and toasted Yi Tianyun. Yi Tianyun also toasted them and drained his cup in one gulp. Next came all kinds of hospitality. The beauties of the multicolored divine tribe also sang and danced. No matter which tribe it was, this aspect was indispensable. Yi Tianyun accepted it calmly. Since they were treating him like this, he would definitely accept it. The atmosphere reached its peak during this celebration. Although they were still worried, at this moment, they threw away all their worries and participated in the festivities. Star-Lord Skycloud, the multicolored divine tribe has nothing to repay you with. However, we will still take out some rewards as repayment for your help this time. Patriarch Ji took out 3 rings and said with a smile. These are 5-colored divine grass, 5-colored divine stone, and 5-colored divine blood. These are all treasures of our clan. You can choose one of them as your reward. Yi Tianyun's eyes lit up. All 3 were excellent treasures. The 5-colored divine grass was almost on the same level as the 9 revolution star grass. Or even better. The five-colored divine stone was a five-colored divine stone that condensed the essence of the five-colored divine stone. The energy contained within it was even denser and more powerful. It was no less precious than the 9 revolution star grass. As for the five-colored divine blood, it was actually the blood of a star venerable. Since it was the essence blood of the five-colored divine clan, it was naturally called the five-colored divine blood. If he could get all 3, that would be the best. But now he could only choose one. He had to think about it carefully. Then I'll take the five-colored divine grass. Yi Tianyan pointed at the five-colored divine grass. After thinking about it, he felt that it would be more helpful. The five-colored divine blood would allow him to explode with great power for a short period of time. It would not be permanent. Thus, he decided to take the five-colored divine grass instead of the other 2 items. Clan Master Ji smiled. In the end, he handed the 3 rings to Yi Tianyan. He said, "You are indeed different from other Star Lords. Other Star Lords would want all of them, not just one. I have seen too many greedy Star Lords. I admire Star Lord Heavenly Cloud. Thus, I plan to give you these 3 treasures as a reward. At the same time, I also want to deepen our relationship. From now on, you will be an honored guest of the five-colored divine clan. You can come and be our guest at any time." Patriarch Ji gave all the rewards to Yi Tianyan, and one of them was to build a good relationship with him. How could he let go of such an expert? Especially since he did not have any ill intentions towards the five-colored divine clan. It was all the more reason to befriend him. "Then I won't stand on ceremony." Yi Tianyan was not a fool. Since Clan Master Ji had given it to him, how could he reject it? After he received it, his eyes lit up. Does that mean that Clan Master Ji has a passage to enter and exit at will? Of course there is. As the protectors of this place, we would be too careless if we did not even have a way out. Clan Master Ji sighed. As a last resort, we will not break our promise and escape from here. The real passage is inside the Divine Temple. Through the Divine Temple, we can leave this place. Similarly, we can enter this place through the passage inside the Divine Temple. So that's how it is, Yi Tianyan nodded. He had also guessed this situation. There was definitely a passage. It was just that they were not willing to escape. Star Lord Heavenly Cloud. Actually, I have a presumptuous request. I hope you can help me. Clan Master Ji hesitated before speaking. Speak. Yi Tianyan narrowed his eyes. It's actually very simple. The green demon race has not been destroyed. They are still suppressed below. There are no problems for now. The 3 Star Lords have been destroyed. They will not be able to come out in the short term. We hope that the next time they attack, you can come and help us. Of course, we will pay you handsomely. Clan Master Ji expressed his intentions in the end. He had arranged for so many things and given so many rewards. Everything was to pave the way for this. Once Yi Tianyan left, he would not have the chance to say it. No matter how thin-skinned he was, he had to brace himself and say it. After all, this concerned the safety of the five-colored divine race. He did not trust the other powerhouses. After all, establishing a trustworthy relationship required a lot of trials. No problem. If there is any danger, contact me at any time. I will definitely rush over. Yi Tianyan agreed without even thinking about it. If he could obtain such a generous reward and kill this trash for star energy, why not? All right. Clan Master Ji's eyes shone brightly. He took out a 5-colored token and handed it over. This is our identity token. As long as you have this token, you will be able to receive our urgent messages. Unless it is urgent, we will not casually pass on messages. With this token, you can also enter the passage at will. This is also proof of our friendly relationship. Yi Tianyan took the token and accepted it. All right, I will accept it. Yi Tianyan smiled. I believe that sooner or later, you will be able to completely suppress the green demon race and escape. Chapter 1972. Clan Master Ji could only shake his head and sigh at Yi Tianyan's blessing. I hope that day will come. I don't see any hope yet, Clan Master Ji said, shaking his head. Clan Master Ji, Haven't you thought about recruiting people outside so that we can attack together? Tianyan thought about it and decided to ask. Of course I've thought about it. But the price must be very high. Our clan does have some resources, but we can't invite too many people. The cultivators outside often ask for exorbitant prices, and we are going to deal with the Green Demon clan this time. This kind of mission is basically a battle to the death. How high do you think the reward is for them to accompany you? Clan leader Ji sighed deeply and pointed out the most difficult problem. The five-colored Holy Clan had declined. How many resources could they have? Even if they invited a Star Lord, how many resources would they need? The five-colored Holy Clan wasn't an invincible treasure house. They didn't have everything. When a Star Lord learned what kind of mission it was, he would ask for a high price. Tianyan could imagine that. Even if the five-colored Holy Clan emptied their resources, they wouldn't be able to invite many strong people. The five-colored Divine Stone was good, but it was not enough. The five-colored Divine Stone they gave to Tianyan was called the five-colored Divine Stone Essence. That was different. But they didn't have much five-colored Divine Stone Essence, so they couldn't invite too many people. I see. Tianyan nodded. He had a general idea of what was going on. I'm not afraid to tell you that we are waiting for that Lord to come. Maybe we can win this battle. Clan Master Ji said as he looked at Tianyan's expression. He wanted to see any changes on his face. However, Tianyan's expression didn't change. He looked at him and asked, "Is that Lord the benefactor of the five-colored Holy Clan that Kai Shui mentioned?" This. Yes. Clan Master Ji had guessed that Tianyan had been sent by that Lord, but it seemed he didn't know. I don't know how many years it has been. Maybe it doesn't exist anymore. Tianyan shook his head. Even strong star venerables would die one day. Everything was possible. Therefore, even if one's strength was astonishing, it was still possible for one to die in some corner. Forget it, it's fine no matter what. Now, we can only rely on this. As long as our generation is still alive, we will uphold this promise. Patriarch Ji thought about it for a moment, then asked, "This is the responsibility of our generation. As for the next generation, when the time comes, we can only choose to retreat. After all, this matter had nothing to do with them. At that time, I hope that Star-Lord Heavenly Cloud can take care of me. I will be eternally grateful. If it really comes to that, I'll help take care of it." Tianyan sighed. He still has a very high respect for their idea of keeping their promise. It wasn't easy for him to do this. How many cultivators could keep their promises like the five-colored divine race? With such an attitude, if the day really came, he would definitely help to take care of her. "Thank you, Star-Lord Heavenly Cloud. Let's not talk about this. Let's drink." Patriarch Ji didn't continue chatting. He continued to drink with Tianyan and watch the beautiful dance in front of them. However, their minds were no longer on the dance. Soon the feast ended. Everyone returned to their positions and continued to repair the damage in the small world. Tianyan stayed for a day or two, then it was time to go back. On his way back, Patriarch Ji personally led him to the temple. "Big brother, are you leaving?" Kai Shui looked reluctant. She didn't want Tianyan to leave so soon. "Yes, I still have a lot of things to do outside. But if I have time, I'll come back to see you." Tianyan rubbed her little head. Kai Shui reminded him of his daughter, Sishiwe, and his wife. Right now, his greatest wish was to quickly and firmly grasp his world in his hands. Only then could he be at ease. "Really? Then it's a promise." Kai Shui jumped up in surprise and hugged Tianyan. These days, staying with Tianyan was like having a big brother. It made her very happy. When Patriarch Ji saw the situation, he already had some plans for Kai Shui. That was to nurture Kai Shui well. It seemed that Kai Shui had a good relationship with Tianyan. Then he would make good use of this relationship. Maybe Tianyan would take care of him a little more for Kai Shui's sake. Soon they arrived at the temple. The temple's construction was magnificent. It was built with five-colored divine stones. As soon as they entered, a huge statue came into view. This person looked very ordinary. It was like throwing him into a crowd of passers-by would immediately drown him. Apart from the statue in front of them, There were many other statues on the side. But the other statues were all tall and mighty. They looked very handsome. They weren't on the same level at all. Could this be your benefactor? Tianyin compared. He could only think that this ordinary-looking statue was their benefactor. After all, he could still find some similarities with the other statues, but he really couldn't find any similarities with this one. Yes, he is our benefactor. An incomparably powerful being. His cultivation has reached the level of a legendary being. Back then, he saved us from disaster. If it weren't for him, our five-colored divine clan would have been annihilated. Patriarch Ji's expression was full of respect. The others who came in with him all had the same expression. They were taught since young that this person was their benefactor. They must hold the highest respect. Other than the appearance, Tianyin couldn't find any other aura. This was actually a statue that was built according to the appearance. It didn't carry any energy. Unlike the other statues, which had the energy of their previous life, the effect was completely different. I see. Tianyin nodded. He didn't say much. He just remembered this appearance. Then Patriarch Ji brought him to the innermost area. After passing through layers of seals, they finally arrived in front of the teleportation array. This is the teleportation array to go out. If you want to come back, you'll have to come in from here. Patriarch Ji said with a smile. Okay, I'll go first. Tianyin smiled and walked toward the teleportation array, and soon disappeared in the teleportation array. Okay, we should continue to prepare. We don't know when the next battle will start. Patriarch Ji turned around and walked outside. He looked at Kai Shui and Kai Yin and said, "You two sisters, come here. I have something to say to you." Yes, Patriarch. The two sisters carefully followed. When the other disciples saw this, they knew that the two sisters would definitely be taken care of. They were very envious. The five-colored divine clan didn't have many clansmen. However, there were at least a few thousand of them. Only a small portion of them were trained. Chapter 1973. After coming out, Tianyin found himself in a remote corner. There was basically nothing around, just an open space. After memorizing this area, he immediately flew in the direction of the celestial terminus ancestral land. In the outside world, the celestial terminus ancestral land had been completely taken over. Those who disobeyed orders were all killed. Those who chose to surrender would be branded as slaves once again. This would not change. For the Jade God ancestral land, being branded as slaves was a must. They did not expect to be able to raise these cultivators well. Instead, they treated them like animals to be reared in captivity and ordered around at will. After being branded as slaves, they did not need to worry about rebelling. They could only carry out any orders given. Even if they were ordered to die, they would immediately do it. This was what they needed. If they wanted to live, they must be branded as slaves. If they didn't bear the mark of a slave, then only death awaited them. How they chose was up to them. As time passed, Tianyin did not appear. Everyone thought that Tianyin had died in the Five Elements Mountain, or was trapped inside. In any case, the celestial terminus ancestral land had been taken over by the Jade God ancestral land. Even if he came back, he would still face the Jade God ancestral land. Some people were full of resentment towards Tianyin, while others did not blame Tianyin. After all, nothing had changed. After choosing to surrender, they still became slaves. It was no different than before. At least they still had freedom for a period of time, which was given by Tianyin. However, most of them were full of resentment. They always thought that if Tianyin did not cause trouble, how could the Jade God ancestral land retaliate? It was a good choice to dominate a region, but he just had to provoke the Jade God ancestral land. Wasn't he stupid? No one knew the truth, and those who knew had no chance to say it. This was the Jade God ancestral land's world. If they spread it, they would die. This group of people included Han Long, Qing Xue, and the others. All of them had gathered together and formed a resistance alliance. However, this resistance alliance was not very strong. The strongest was only Grandmaster Xing. Grandmaster Xing was strong, But he was insignificant in the face of the Jade God ancestral land. In general, a group of powerful forces had gathered. The God Slayer team had been persecuted. After being saved by Yi Tianyan, they had been loyal to him. Therefore, after this incident, they naturally chose to follow Yi Tianyan. No matter what Yi Tianyan did, they would still choose to follow Yi Tianyan. Damn it, the Jade God ancestral land is getting more and more disgusting. They have a bad reputation. It was the Jade God ancestral land's doing. And now they're saying that they're taking revenge? How ridiculous. Those idiots that were originally rescued think they were harmed by the Lord. Truly disgusting. Qing Xue burned with rage, and the nearby Han Long was extremely furious as well. What can be done? Our force is far weaker than the Jade God ancestral land, which Star Venerable Realm has you. Even if they have no reason to suppress us, no one will dare to resist. Deng Feng shook his head and smiled bitterly. They were also angry when they learned the truth. Let's stop talking about this. Let's carry out the plan. I plan to eliminate the force of the Jade God ancestral land in Yuming City first. Yuming City is a bit weaker, so we will eliminate them little by little. We will do as much as we can. When Taoist Tianyan comes back, we will at least be able to help eliminate some forces. The drug deity was very calm. He planned to eliminate the force of the Jade God ancestral land stationed in the Celestial Terminus ancestral land bit by bit. In their opinion, the Celestial Terminus ancestral land must be taken back. This was a good starting point, so they couldn't lose it. Especially their hometown, which was below the Celestial Terminus ancestral land, so they had to take it back. That's right. That's all we can do for now. Before the Lord comes back, we have to do something. Qing Xue and the others nodded. They didn't want to hide in the dark all the time. They had been making all kinds of plans. When Yi Tianyan came back, they could help eliminate some of the forces. At the same time, they believed that Yi Tianyan wasn't dead. At most, he was trapped in the Celestial Terminus ancestral land. Therefore, they had been waiting for Yi Tianyan to come back. When the time came, they believed that they could definitely take back the Celestial Terminus ancestral land. After making the plan, they immediately started to act. One by one, they went to Yuming City. Soon, a large group of people quickly killed their way to Yuming City. They quietly wiped out the forces of the Jade God ancestral land in Yuming City. Everything went according to plan. There were not many problems. They were not weak. As long as the forces they planted were not strong, it was not difficult to eliminate them. After eliminating Yuming City, they quickly went to the next city and eradicated them one by one. When they eradicated one of the cities, they thought it would be as smooth as before. Suddenly, a terrible force fell from the sky, making them tremble. They looked up at the sky in horror. Star Venerate? They felt the power of a Star Venerate. Logically, it was impossible for a Star Venerate to appear. After all, the Star Venerates of the Jade God ancestral land were so powerful. Why would they lower themselves to eliminate them? At most, they would send a Star Master, not a Star Venerate. But now they really felt the power of a Star Venerate. Did this mean that the Jade God ancestral land really sent the two legendary existences? A group of trash hiding in the dark. Do you think you can eliminate the forces of the Jade God ancestral land with your little power? Star Venerate Luoju looked at the people below coldly, full of disdain. But at least you succeeded in attracting me here. You should be honored to have me take action. It's not those two lords. This is the new Star Venerate of the Jade God ancestral land? Their hearts trembled. Star Venerate Luoju's cultivation was not very high. He had probably broken through to the Star Venerate level not long ago. Maybe he had broken through to the Star Venerate level long ago, but he had been at the early stage of the Star Venerate level. No matter what, this meant that the Jade God ancestral land had other Star Venerates. Even the weakest Star Venerate was still a Star Venerate. Let's go. Without saying another word, Han Long led his men and retreated outside. This time they did not bring many people, but it was still a large force. Qing Xue was also among them. She had volunteered to fight. Since she had chosen to follow Yi Tianyan, she needed to prove herself. Now that they had encountered a star venerate, their faces turned pale, and they immediately fled in all directions. They would not escape together. Instead, they chose to scatter in all directions. This way, even if they were caught, only a small portion of them would be caught. Do you think you can escape? Star Venerate Luo Ju smiled disdainfully. He waved his hand, and the surrounding flames flickered. Soon, a group of Star Masters emerged and sealed the area tightly. Chapter 1974. Han Long and the others had succeeded so many times. How could they not attract the attention of the ancestral land of the Jade God? In a fit of anger, they sent out Star Monarch Luo Ju, a new Star Monarch. If word got out, it would mean that the ancestral land of the Jade God still had 3 Star Monarchs. If the previous Star Monarch was not killed, then there would be 4 Star Monarchs. This number was terrifying. Perhaps only the ancestral land of the Jade God could cultivate so many Star Monarchs. It's over. We didn't even get a hint. Han Long and the others had been gathering information from all around, but they still didn't know that the ancestral land of the Jade God had sent people. Either there was a mole, or they were too secretive and surrounded them without anyone noticing. But overall, it should be the latter. They were sure that there was no mole here, so it could only mean that the ancestral land of the Jade God was very capable. They could easily deceive everyone, so they couldn't get any information. Surrounded by so many strong enemies, even if they were not weak, it would be difficult for them to escape. There were so many Star Masters here, at least a dozen of them, plus a Star Monarch. How could they escape? Especially since they had already prepared everything. If they could let Han Long and the others escape, then they were really useless. If I let you escape, then I'm really useless. Do you really think you arranged it well? Star Monarch Luo Ju sneered. There were too many loopholes. We quickly found those so-called spies. This place belongs to the ancestral land of the Jade God. They were startled. That was true. Everyone here was their slave. As long as they gave the order, they could quickly find the spies. They might not have done so at first, but after they were angered and gave the order, they quickly found the spies. Once the spies were found, Han Long and the others were blind. Without the spies, how could they get any information? We were indeed careless. Han Long and the others sighed. This time, they admitted that they had lost, and the price was death. Even so, before we die, we have to fight and kill as many as we can. Han Long turned to look at Qing Shui and sighed. I told you not to come. These things are very dangerous. You shouldn't have come. What's not dangerous? Qing Shui smiled faintly and said in a carefree manner. When I was following you, I wanted to offer myself to you at any time. All right. Han Long laughed out loud. My lord is indeed not mistaken. Then let's fight side by side and kill as many as we can. All right. After Qing Shui consumed the water spirit fruit, her cultivation took a huge leap and was about to break through to Great Master Xing. If she was given a bit more time, she would be able to break through to Great Master Xing without any pressure. However, in this place, her battle prowess was still very ordinary. The people surrounding them were all Grandmaster Xing. Just her cultivation of Star Master late stage was really not enough. The other companions who came with him also had the same mentality. If they were afraid of death, they would have surrendered a long time ago instead of continuing to be enemies with the ancestral land of Jade God. Jade God ancestral land is such a powerful force. It takes a lot of courage to go against them. But they had done it. Even if they had to die, they would go against the ancestral land of the Jade God. This was to live for one's dignity, not to linger on with one's last breath. A bunch of trash wants to go against our ancestral land of the Jade God? Kill them. Star Sovereign Luo Ju said coldly. What a waste of time. If I had known earlier, I would not have come here. It's such a waste of time to come here for a pile of trash. He did not plan to attack. Sending so many grandmasters was enough to kill them. But when they were about to attack, a figure stood in the void. As he stood there, the air around him solidified. The grandmasters who had rushed over were all turned into statues, unable to move in the air. So what if we go against your ancestral land of the Jade God? A bunch of disgusting people. Do you still think you are the rulers of this world? A familiar voice rang in Han Long's ears. They all looked up and saw Yi Tianyun's face. This face was too familiar, so familiar that they couldn't help but shed tears when they saw it. My lord is back, my lord is back. Qing Shue's eyes were red. She knew that Yi Tianyun would definitely come back. He did not die in there as the rumors said. My lord. Star Sovereign Luoju looked at Yi Tianyun, who suddenly appeared in the void. He was startled. He did not know when he had appeared. Then he saw Yi Tianyun stretch out his hand and flick his fingers. The surrounding grandmasters all exploded and died. It was like fireworks blooming in the air. It was very beautiful. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 grandmasters were easily killed as if they were drinking water. Star Sovereign Luoju was stunned. His heart sank. Even if it were him, he would not be able to do this. Doesn't this mean that Yi Tianyun's power is much stronger than him? Stop acting mysterious. Quickly come and die. Star Sovereign Luoju thought that he could defeat Yi Tianyun. He had just become a Star Venerate not long ago, so he was a little arrogant. As a Star Venerate, he stood above everyone. Who would dare to disobey him? A grade 5-star Dharma idol appeared behind Star Sovereign Luoju. No wonder he could become a Star Venerate with a grade 5-star Dharma idol. At the same time, Star Sovereign Luoju attracted astral energy from 3 directions. It was extremely dazzling in the dark night. The cultivators watching from afar were shocked by this scene. They felt that this was the power of a Star Venerate. Facing the erupting Star Sovereign Luoju, Yi Tianyun's expression was indifferent. He just stood in the void without moving. When Star Sovereign Luoju rushed over, he suddenly attacked. He raised his hand and flicked gently. An invisible force attacked Star Sovereign Luoju. Boom! An invisible force pierced through Star Monarch Luoju's barrier and struck his body, producing a dull thud. Following that, Star Sovereign Luoju grunted and flew back. Finally, he crashed into many houses. After piercing through several houses, he barely stopped. The seemingly tyrannical Star Sovereign Luoju could not compare to Yi Tianyun's flick. Isn't that a Star Venerate? How could he be defeated so easily? Heavens! Could he be the Heavenly Cloud Star Grandmaster, who fell out with the Celestial Pole Ancestral Land? But that's not right. His strength is definitely above the Star Venerate level. Are you stupid? His cultivation must have broken through to the Star Venerate level. I even heard news about him. I didn't expect him to really come out of the 5-element mountain. Does that mean we will soon be free? Chapter 1975. Yi Tianyun was like a god descending, easily sending Starlord Luoju flying. Not to mention the surrounding cultivators, even Han Long and the others were shocked. When they were with Yi Tianyun, they didn't have this kind of strength. Now he could even easily defeat a Starlord. How did he cultivate? No matter how they cultivated, their hearts were filled with excitement, and their faces were flushed. The stronger Yi Tianyun was, the more excited they felt. They could not wait for Yi Tianyun to be invincible and crush everything. My lord is too powerful. He is much more powerful than before. Qing Shue's pretty face was red. When they parted, Yi Tianyun was still a Star Master. Now he could even kill a Star Lord. Such strength was simply shocking. Indeed, my lord is invincible. He cannot be understood with common sense. When they saw Yi Tianyun appear, they were worried that he would be easily injured if he fought with Starlord Luoju. Now they did not need to worry about that. Yi Tianyun crushed him with one palm strike. Soon, Starlord Luoju flew out of a pile of rubble, his eyes bloodshot as he said, "I'm going to kill you." He had never suffered such a setback before. He was easily suppressed in front of everyone, completely humiliating him. In this rage, he continued to charge at Yi Tianyun, bringing out his combat prowess to the limit. However, no matter how much he brought out his full strength, it was still too weak for Yi Tianyun. The difference in cultivation meant that Starlord Luoju would be crushed. You can go down first. After a while, the rest of you will come down to accompany you. Yi Tianyun stretched out his hand and pressed forward. The Starlord Dharma body on Starlord Luoju's pouncing body exploded, and he was smashed into the ground. After a while, everything returned to silence. Star-Lord Luoju did not get up again. He was completely dead. Such a powerful Star-Lord died just like that. This overturned everyone's understanding. In their opinion, Star-Lords were invincible and undying. Now Star-Venerate had been killed just like that. It was like killing an ant. Yi Tianyun's figure flashed, and the five-colored monarch dragon flew up into the sky. Then it exploded in all directions, and silver light scattered everywhere. Soon, all the enslaved cultivators in the entire city had their slave imprints unsealed, allowing them to regain their freedom. The slave brand in my body has been removed. It's true, the slave brand has been removed. Thank you, my lord. Thank you, my lord. Bullshit. Isn't it normal to remove the slave imprint? If it wasn't for him, would the ancestral land of the Jade God come after us? You don't even know how to be grateful. From the very beginning, we were branded as slaves. He had the obligation to not help us remove the slave brand. Some people still hated Yi Tianyun, but they were quickly scolded by others. There were still people who had a heart that was moved, and they didn't just keep complaining. There was no freedom in the first place, so why should he care about the changes in the situation? Even if Yi Tianyun didn't save anyone, it wouldn't be a problem. The reason why the Celestial Terminus Ancestral Land implemented this slavery system is because of the ancestral land of the Jade God. Therefore, if we want to get rid of this slavery system, we must destroy the ancestral land of the Jade God. Please spread the truth, and at the same time, spread it for me. I, Star-Venerate Heavenly Cloud, will personally go to the ancestral land of the Jade God in a few days. Yi Tianyun's voice spread everywhere, and each word penetrated deep into their hearts. Of course, Yi Tianyun knew that some people hated him, because he had been able to find out the relevant information along the way. It was normal to have this kind of thinking. There were many selfish cultivators, and each of them had a strong mouth, but their strength was too weak. However, he didn't care about this. After everything was over, some people had to be eliminated, and no one would be left. He was also a vengeful person, and anyone who said something bad about him would be blacklisted. There was no need for him to investigate this, because someone would deal with it when the time came. After the news spread out, everyone was stunned. After they reacted, they burst out in disbelief. What? The ancestral land of the Jade God is the mastermind? This is unbelievable. If the ancestral land of the Jade God is the mastermind, then it's normal for Star-Venerate Heavenly Cloud to provoke the ancestral land of the Jade God. For every debt, there is a debtor. He must have gone to the ancestral land of the Jade God to cause trouble. If that's the case, aren't we wrong about Star-Venerate Heavenly Cloud? He isn't being arrogant and provoking the ancestral land of the Jade God, but he wants to completely liberate the Celestial Terminus Ancestral Land? This is unbelievable. He wants to cause trouble for the ancestral land of the Jade God himself? Is this really possible? The ancestral land of the Jade God has many Star-Venerates. One by one the cultivators panicked. Some of them felt guilty and ashamed, while others were extremely terrified. If the ancestral land of the Jade God was behind this, then the result would be the same if they couldn't deal with the ancestral land of the Jade God. The ancestral land of the Jade God's power was too deep. Even though Yi Tianyun's performance was shocking, they still felt that they couldn't defeat him. No matter what, Yi Tianyun's words had reached them, and they believed Yi Tianyun's words. A Star-Venerate wasn't likely to lie, so they believed him. After a little speculation, they realized that Yi Tianyun's words were trustworthy. Yi Tianyun didn't care about what they thought. He landed next to Han Long and the others and said indifferently, "You are too anxious. This is the ancestral land of the Jade God's territory. If you are careless, you will lose everything. My lord, this is our mistake. Please punish us." They knelt down one by one, feeling touched. If Yi Tianyun can come back, not to mention punishing them, even if he asked them to die, they would accept it. They knew that once Yi Tianyun came back, they would kill their way over and suppress the ancestral land of the Jade God. Even if it meant death, they would be willing. "I will definitely punish you. Now, I order you to come with me and destroy all the forces that the Jade God's ancestral land has stationed here." Etienne's eyes were filled with anger. After he came back and learned about everything, he was furious. Naturally, he wanted to eradicate the Jade God's ancestral land as soon as possible. Inverting black and white, what a joke! Yes, my lord. They stood up excitedly and shouted, "We will follow my lord and kill our way to the ancestral land of the Jade God. We will not rest until one of us is dead." Etienne nodded with satisfaction. He turned to the front and said, "Then we will start from the next city and take back the celestial terminus ancestral land." Chapter 1976. Etienne's message quickly spread in all directions. The news that he could come out of the five-element mountain was enough to shock everyone. The reason why the celestial terminus ancestral land was controlled was because of the Jade God ancestral land. This matter undoubtedly caused an uproar in the celestial terminus ancestral land. Most people thought that Etienne was too arrogant and had provoked the Jade God ancestral land. If Etienne had not provoked the Jade God ancestral land, this situation would not have happened. Now they were slapped in the face by the reality. Everything was caused by the Jade God ancestral land. This was an extremely disgusting and frightening matter. They did not expect that the mastermind behind this was the Jade God ancestral land, a terrifying existence. However, most people were full of guilt towards Etienne. They blamed the wrong person. In fact, Etienne was fighting for their freedom. However, the Jade God ancestral land's constant propaganda had tarnished Etienne's reputation. On one hand, they wanted Etienne to help them deal with the Jade God ancestral land. On the other hand, they thought that it was impossible. The power of the Jade God ancestral land was not only deeply rooted in people's hearts. More importantly, Etienne was not strong enough. The information they knew was still at a relatively early stage. No one knew that he had killed so many Star Lords inside, let alone those Saint Kings of the Green Demon clan. His current strength might not be the best, but at least he would not be so powerless against the Jade God ancestral land. However, no one knew about his situation. They all thought that even if Etienne came out, it would be meaningless. Would he really kill his way to the Jade God ancestral land? Even though Etienne said that he would go to the Jade God ancestral land in a few days, most people still thought that Etienne was hitting a stone with an egg. They thought that he was angry. His force had been destroyed, so he naturally wanted to vent his anger. However, venting depended on the target. The other party was the Jade God ancestral land. How could they take revenge? He was afraid that by the time he reached there, he would be killed very quickly. No matter what the result was, at least the Empyrean Terminus ancestral land's anger had been fully directed at the Jade God ancestral land. And it wasn't Etienne who had overestimated himself and provoked the Jade God ancestral land. Some outside forces knew that the Jade God ancestral land was behind this, but they didn't dare to say anything. In the end, he still obediently stayed at the side and kept his mouth shut, not daring to voice any opinion. Those who had objections all died in the end. Ancestral land of Jade God. Interesting. He actually escaped from the Five Elements mountain. Although I don't know how he escaped, this is going to be interesting. Emerald Flame Star Sovereign still had an indifferent expression. Even when Goldwind Star Sovereign died, he did not show any signs of sadness. It was as if the deceased was just a passerby. If he dares to come, I will let him know the meaning of despair. Emerald Flame Star Sovereign revealed an evil smile, as if he had already foreseen Etienne's expression of despair. In another divine palace, there was another Star Sovereign. When he knew that Etienne was going to kill him personally, he sneered disdainfully. You think you are invincible after killing Goldwind? You overestimate yourself. Goldwind is really stupid. He can't even kill an ant. It's better for him to die early. This mysterious Star Sovereign closed his eyes and continued to cultivate. He did not get angry because of this. Neither of them was as hot-tempered as Goldwind Star Sovereign. They were very calm. As long as someone did not come to kill them, they would not bother to do anything. Unless it was extremely chaotic, they wouldn't make a move. The two Star Sovereigns were not angry, but the people inside the Jade God ancestral land were furious. They wanted to cut Etienne into 1,000 pieces. This was undoubtedly a provocation to the Jade God ancestral land. However, they did not receive any order to take action this time. They were told to stay put and wait for Yi Tianyan to come. Since someone wanted to challenge the dignity of the Jade God ancestral land, they would give him the chance to challenge them. At that time, they would use the strongest pressure to suppress Yi Tianyan. It was the same as killing the chicken to warn the monkey. They would let them know the inviolable dignity of the Jade God ancestral land. This matter caused a great uproar in the entire region. Everyone talked about it during their leisure time. They all thought that Yi Tianyan was overestimating himself and would definitely lose. However, no matter how he lost, they all wanted to see the real situation. The situation began to change. Finally, there was a slight change, and a troublemaker appeared. A long time ago, there were existences that challenged the Jade God ancestral land, including many star sovereigns. The ancestral land of the Jade God was still standing, and the challengers were long dead. Since the Jade God ancestral land did not intend to take action, it was very easy for Yi Tianyan to deal with things. Soon, all of the Jade God ancestral land's forces in the celestial terminus ancestral land were destroyed. Not all of them, but at least most of them had been freed. It's about time. I'll leave the rest to you. Yi Tianyan looked at Han Long and the others. My lord, are you going to challenge the Jade God ancestral land? Han Long and the others immediately sensed something strange. Yes, there are no more problems here for now. It's time to take care of business, Yi Tianyan said indifferently. My lord, this. Han Long and the others, including Deng Feng and the others, stepped forward. Some things were difficult to say. Are you all trying to persuade me? Yi Tianyan said indifferently. Yes, your strength is amazing. If you cultivate for a while longer, the chance. No need to say more. I said in a few days and I meant it. I won't give the Jade God ancestral land any extra time. It's time to end the Jade God ancestral land. If Yi Tianyan's words were heard by the outside world, they would be laughed at. It was as if he was saying that the Jade God ancestral land would be destroyed. He didn't want it to live for a few more days. In that case, we are willing to follow my lord. Yes, we will follow my lord to the Jade God ancestral land. Seeing that persuasion was useless, they had no choice but to follow Yi Tianyan to the Jade God ancestral land. There's no need. I've already said that I'll kill my way to the ancestral land of the Jade God alone. I'm not being arrogant. I just want to prove to the world that the Jade God ancestral land is not invincible and unbreakable. When Yi Tianyan said this, he was so confident. Those who knew him would respect him, while those who didn't would think that he was an idiot who overestimated himself. With that, Yi Tianyan flew towards the Jade God ancestral land alone, leaving the others looking at each other in dismay. Chapter 1977. The news of Yi Tianyan's action shocked many people again. Many people thought that Yi Tianyan was just saying it. They didn't expect him to really go to Jade God ancestral land. To be honest, even if he didn't go, they wouldn't feel ashamed. Retreating at the last moment was actually a very wise choice. After all, he was facing Jade God ancestral land, not a small faction. They wouldn't look down on him for being arrogant at first, and then being obedient later on. Many people were willing to be their grandsons. After learning that the other side was from the Jade God ancestral land, they obediently chose to be their grandsons. Therefore, there was nothing to look down on. It was the right choice. But Yi Tianyan still went to Jade God ancestral land without hesitation. Many people went to watch. They wanted to see how Yi Tianyan would die. Wasn't it a joke to challenge the ancestral land of the Jade God? At the same time, Fairy Fanyu was shocked when she received the news. What, he's really going to Jade God ancestral land? Fairy Fanyu panicked and said to her senior sister, "Senior sister, we're done for. We have to stop that fool. Junior sister, we won't get involved in this. Even if we don't get along with Jade God ancestral land, we still can't act recklessly. Even if you owe him a favor, we still can't act recklessly. After all, it'll be a war between the two sides. We're not ready yet." Fairy Fanyu didn't have any feelings for Yi Tianyan. Even if he saved her junior sister, He couldn't act recklessly. She did owe him a favor and treated him with all kinds of hospitality when he came here. But if Yi Tianyan wanted to die, there was nothing she could do. It wasn't that she was heartless, but she had to think of the bigger picture. Then I'll go and stop him myself. That should be enough, right? Fairy Fanyu stomped her feet and flew to Jade God Ancestral Land. She wanted to stop Yi Tianyan from doing something stupid. Even if he killed Metal Wind Star Lord, he couldn't go to Jade God Ancestral Land. Junior sister. The fairy became anxious and quickly chased after her. You are a goddess, your status is different now. If you appear, it will cause chaos. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to become a goddess. I would have died in there long ago. Fairy Fanyu said. Senior sister, don't stop me. If I can't even do this, then I'm not qualified to be a goddess. With that, she left her senior sister behind and flew forward to look for Yi Tianyan alone. The fairy was so angry that she stomped her feet and turned around to fly back. Hurry up and inform the elders. This is going to be troublesome. On the other hand, the Danqing family was amused. They hadn't expected Yi Tianyan to personally go to the Jade God ancestral grounds. It's lucky that we didn't make friends with him. Otherwise, we would have been implicated by Qing Shui. Yeah, now he's dead for sure, and so is Qing Shui. However, we still need to prepare to offer that treasure to the ancestral land of the Jade God. Is this necessary? That's quite rare. What can we do? Who knows what the Jade God ancestral land will think? Once this is over, we'll offer it. Our family doesn't want to be finished yet. The Danqing family hurried to prepare. Although they had already announced that they had severed ties with Qing Shui, they didn't know what the Jade God ancestral land was thinking. If they didn't offer something, they wouldn't be able to eat or sleep in peace. All the families that were unhappy with Yi Tianyan felt very refreshed after hearing Yi Tianyan's words. They could foresee Yi Tianyan's death, so they wanted to vent their dissatisfaction. But they couldn't do anything. They could only go to the Jade God ancestral land to watch the shocking battle. While the outside world was changing, Yi Tianyan was rushing to the Jade God ancestral land. After destroying the Jade God ancestral land, everything would come to a perfect end. At the very least, he could make his own force his own and no longer be controlled by others. Finally, after a period of flying, the territory of the ancestral land of the Jade God gradually appeared in front of him. The huge divine palaces formed a huge square formation. Everything seemed so coordinated and perfect. None of the divine palaces were built randomly. Be it the height or the size, they were all designed. After a series of designs and arrangements, they formed a shocking array. This formation was one of the defensive features of the Jade God ancestral land. It could block many powerful attacks. At least for now, no one could break through this defense. Just this defensive formation alone was enough to stop the enemies outside. As expected of the Jade God ancestral land, just this formation alone is extraordinary. Yi Tianyan looked over and used the appraisal eye to analyze the situation. He immediately sent the corresponding information. He had to admit that this formation was very sturdy. Ordinary star venerables would have a hard time breaking it. When he was about to get close, a familiar figure stopped him. It was Fairy Fanyu. Don't be rash. Fairy Fanyu stopped him and said in a hurry. The Jade God ancestral land's foundation is very strong. If possible, you can work together with our force. With our force, we will have a higher chance of winning. Oh, that's not a bad idea. But when will this plan be implemented? Yi Tianyan looked at her indifferently. I'm not sure. Fairy Fanyu was very embarrassed. She did not know the exact time. After all, this was just a preliminary idea. She did not know the actual time. Looks like this is not something you can control. Yi Tianyan smiled. Thank you for your kindness, but there is no need for this. I don't need to wait, nor do I need any force to work with me. I alone am enough. Plus, I can eliminate them in a while. There is no need to wait. Even though Fairy Fanyu knew that Yi Tianyan was strong, she was still scared after hearing this. Go back. If you stay here, you will be seen by the Jade God ancestral land. It will be hard for you to explain yourself when you go back. Tianyan smiled. I'm not going back. Fairy Fan Yu said in a deep voice. I'm here not only to dissuade you, but also to stop you. If I can't stop you, I will go with you to eliminate the Jade God Ancestral Land. I am also very angry about this Jade God Ancestral Land. I have wanted to eliminate it for a long time. It seems that you are very determined. Tianyan said as he rubbed Tianyan's head. Little girl, you can stay here and watch me destroy this arrogant Jade God Ancestral Land. Tianyan said as he rubbed Tianyan's head. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.